Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful communities.
Restrictions and important safety information.
Want a boost in and out of the bedroom? Hims using a new 2-in-1 approach to level up your game. Tadalafil for better bedroom performance and zinc for testosterone support. Put it all together and you've got what you need to turn things all the way up. Getting started is simple. Just go to hims.com/joy to start your free online visit. Through Hims, you can access ED treatments including pills, chews, and more. 100% online. No office visits, no pharmacy lines. Just fill out a simple intake form and a licensed medical provider will determine if treatment's right for you. If prescribed, it ships free and discreetly to your door. Find affordable treatment options at up to 95% less than brand names at hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy, HIMS.com/JOY.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell, in a memo to staff, said there will be increased security at the league's offices in the days and weeks to come following yesterday's deadly shooting in a Manhattan office building. The shooter had targeted the headquarters of the NFL but took the wrong elevator. A note in the shooter's wallet suggested he had a grievance against the NFL over a claim he suffered from CTE. Today, for the first time, Jets quarterback Justin Fields addressed the toe injury he sustained at training camp last week. He admitted there were some anxious moments, but is relieved the injury's not a big one.
We get our feet stepped on all the time at practice, so it just felt normal at first when I first got stepped on, but I tried walking off and it felt weird, like something was almost stuck in my toe. So I didn't really know what to think. I just knew something was wrong. Got carted and got the MRI and X-ray, and luckily they said it was just dislocated it. So God was definitely looking out that day.
Florida quarterback DJ Lagway dealing with a calf strain, wearing a walking boot as fall camp opens. No timetable for his return. Baseball, the Orioles handed the AL leading Blue Jays a third consecutive loss, 16-4.
Hey, it's Michelle Smallman, and coming up Wednesday, we continue our ESPN Radio Rank 'em series with my bottom 5 worst teams in the NFL. It's on Sportsman, 6 a.m. Eastern, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studio.
Let's ride! Go!
And off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. It's AFR powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana. I'm Matt.
This is Shaq O'Neal, and I hate Matt.
Paul O'Neal.
They're chanting Paul O'Neal's name.
Yes, sir. And Mr. Toby Tom Plate. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there, make it a good one. Shea Dixon in about 15 minutes. We'll head up to Clemson in an hour. Jon Stinchcomb here next hour as well. Sean Fazende talking Saints in hour 3. Ton to do. Let us begin as we do every single day.
It's time to pop the top on another edition of AFR with Bud Light. Drink easy.
Well, I feel like Clark Griswold waiting for his little Christmas miracle to arrive. Finally. Nothing like waiting till the last minute. LSU has finally released the fall camp schedule. This literally just came into the inbox as we're starting the show. And LSU will hit the practice field tomorrow. Media availability at 9:45 a.m. So they'll practice. Brian Kelly will meet with reporters at 11:30. So team LSU reporting for fall camp today, Tuesday, and they will hit the practice field for the first time tomorrow, Wednesday, July 30th, exactly 1 month before LSU opens up the season on August the 30th in Clemson, South Carolina. So we've got a lot to do as we get set for fall camp to open tomorrow. And, of course, LSU steamrolling toward the start of the season, and the Saints continuing through through training camp. So we'll get a lot of those updates throughout the day today. It's also watch list season, so every day the national awards will put out their watch list. Now, if you've been with the show for any length of time, you know my feeling on watch lists. It's a bigger condemnation on your player at that position if they're not on the list than it is a credit if they are on the list, because roughly half of all the players at that individual position, or half of the schools are in the country are represented. It's like 40, 50, 60 guys on watch lists. So, like, if you look at the Mackey Award for the best tight end and your guy's not on it, that's generally a bad thing. But Tuesday, they released the Nagurski watch list, and the Nagurski goes to the best defensive player in college football. Glenn Dorsey won that award back in 2007. Of course, he was so outstanding that year. Throughout his entire career, but he was outstanding in 2007. Whit Weeks was on the Nagurski watch list, as well he should be. Whit Weeks was second in the SEC in tackles a year ago. He was ninth in the country in tackles a season ago as a sophomore. His PFF grade was a 71.7. Truthfully, Whit Weeks and Anthony Hill from Texas are 1A, 1B, the best linebackers in the SEC, and on the short list of the best linebackers in college football. So, yeah, Whit Weeks is a guy that everyone's going to be watching for national awards. Certainly the Butkus, the best linebacker in college football, and awards like the Nagurski, which go to the best defensive player in college football. But I started thinking about a player that isn't on the preseason watch list that was a year ago and could very well be in that running at the end of the season, and it's Harold Perkins. And it's so interesting because our conversations about Perkins this offseason have been so quiet relative to each of his first 3 years in Baton Rouge. Remember, he came to LSU as a 5-star with a much ballyhooed recruitment. And he picked LSU after flipping from Texas A&M. He, as a freshman, becomes a freshman All-American and first-team All-SEC. Not freshman All-SEC, first-team All-SEC as a freshman in 2022. And everyone sort of wondered, what do you do for an encore? And while he tried to play off the ball in 2023, and they tried it there and moved him eventually. But the productivity was good, but it was the worst defense in LSU history. And even still, Harold Perkins was second-team All-SEC as a sophomore in 2023. Well, going into last year, Blake Baker's first season at LSU, there was this conversation about how they were going to use him for the second consecutive offseason. It was, can he play off the ball? Remember, this was Blake Baker in the spring of 2024, a year ago, last spring, when they were trying again to make Harold Perkins an off-the-ball linebacker. And Blake Baker was kind of lobbying why it could work. And remember, this happened?
We're going to find out what he does best. He can play inside linebacker. He's grown exponentially, and it's hot in here.
Like, as Blake Baker is saying Harold Perkins can play inside linebacker, the alarm sound. There was like a real-life BS meter going off. And so they kind of made the decision last year that they were going to use him in a multitude of different ways, and part of that was going to be off the ball. And during that fall, Blake Baker was talking about all the different ways that they planned on using Harold Perkins.
I think you can use Harold in a variety of different ways. I think we have to start him somewhere and get him really good at that. But he's so explosive. He's got an innate ability to really turn the edge. He's a really good blitzer, as we're finding out this spring on the inside. He's really good in coverage. So there's not much the guy can't do. We just can't overload him with all that right now. We're going to find ways to utilize his skill set best and hopefully put him on their worst player every single week. So we have a lot of big plans for him.
That's fine. That's fine. Okay, so again, they had an idea, which was part of it was going to be off the ball, but you heard Blake Baker say it. Our plan was put him on their worst player every week and use him in a lot of different ways. Well, we never just got to see that manifest because he was injured in week 3 against UCLA. But remember also, Harold Perkins was at SEC Media Days last year, and he was picked to be the preseason SEC Defensive Player of the Year last year. So there was so much conversation around Harold. But after the UCLA injury, it's been a little bit of out of sight, out of mind. He missed the remainder of the season. He was still rehabbing, so he didn't go through spring practice. So all of that conversation around Harold Perkins has just been muted, and we've spent so much of the offseason talking about all of the transfer additions on defense, and justifiably so. Adding Patrick Payton and Jamari Butler and Jack Pyburn and Jakeem Jackson and Mansour Delane and A.J. Halsey and Tamarcus Cooley and Sadir Mitchell, like adding all these, Bernard Gooden, adding all those guys defensively has dramatically improved your talent level defensively. It's not even debatable. But we haven't talked much about the guy who might actually be the most impactful guy if he's able to revert to his freshman form. Because if Harold Perkins is able to replicate the level of dominance and impactfulness he had back in 2022, well, that's the most significant addition, because while he was on your team last year, he didn't play, in 11 or 9 of your games. So when Blake Baker was meeting with reporters this spring, so again, a year after he was talking about Harold Perkins playing off the ball and the sirens, the alarm sounded, Blake Baker's talking to media this spring about why they've made the decision now to move Harold Perkins to the star position.
I just think the star is so versatile. And quite frankly, we sat down at the end of the year and I said, where are you most comfortable? And he said the star. And so he's got that capability to still allow us to be flexible from a coverage standpoint. But I do think that he's a really, really good space player. I think, again, with that position, you're able to do a lot of different things with him. And so it'll also keep offenses not necessarily knowing where he's going to line up every single snap, whether it be pressure, whether it be coverage, whether it be on the line of scrimmage. So we're able to do a lot of different things. That's kind of like the little secret sauce in this defense. The more position flexibility that guy gives you, the more versatile we can be on defense.
It's a very similar thing that Blake Baker said a year ago when they were going to try to use him in a lot of different ways. We just never got to see it manifest. But I want to remind you this. I'm not picking on Major Burns, but this is a fact. In 2024, Major Burns, his PFF grade was a 57.5. That was the second lowest among your starters. 57.5. The only lower was Jordan Gilbert at 53.2. Look, the back end of your defense was atrocious a year ago. And remember, Jordan Gilbert was playing with one arm. He dislocated his shoulder. He spent the whole season playing with a harness and with one arm, and had off-season shoulder surgery, and he missed spring as a result of it. So you put a big asterisk next to Jordan Gilbert because he's playing a physical position with one arm. Major Burns was a veteran guy who had a PFF grade of 57.5. By comparison, Deshaun Spears, a true freshman, his grade was 61.1. He got benched. Kylan Jackson was at 66.5, and he transferred. So you had a guy in that position who was arguably your worst defensive player a year ago. I'm not picking on him. It's just the reality of it. So now you're taking a spot that was maybe your most glaring weakness defensively, and you're putting a potential All-American, a former All-American, in that spot. The question is, can Harold Perkins revert to form? Is he healthy? Is he comfortable in that star spot? Can he revert to form? If the answer is yes, then that may actually end up being the most impactful addition to this defense. And if that helps LSU get to the point where we hope they can be with their team goals and Perkins' statistics follow, then Perkins is a guy at the end of the season that's going to be on the watch list for the Nagurski and a lot of these awards, because we've seen what the physical ability is for Harold Perkins when it's right and when he's in the right spot. So if he's healthy and he's in the right spot and this defense is improving and they can do what Blake Baker said and find a way to put Harold Perkins on the other team's worst guy every week, then you create some real mismatches. You tilt the field. You change the math. And he could be a guy finally primed for that massive season we've all been waiting for since that explosive freshman season. Harold Perkins. See if when LSU hits the practice field on Wednesday, Harold Perkins is on the practice field for the first time since tearing his ACL against UCLA back in September a year ago. And maybe, just maybe, finally realizing the potential that we all know is buried deep within there. All right, it's After Further Review. Our show Open Every Day is brought to you by Bud Light. Drink easy with the great taste of Bud Light, the official beer of AFR, the official beer of the New Orleans Saints, the official beer of the LSU Tigers. Excited. The new Bud Light aluminum bottles. I got to see the design. They're probably about 2 weeks away from hitting the shelves, so a little bit of a tease, but by the time you're tailgating for LSU Clemson, home gating for LSU Clemson, or tailgating for whatever game it may be, you will have that new Bud Light LSU aluminum bottle and excited for that to come. Listen, no matter if you're at home, if you're at a restaurant, sports bar, wherever you may be watching the Tigers play this year, make sure you got plenty of ice cold Bud Light, the official beer of the LSU Tigers. Okay, y'all, let me knock out a quick break. Shea Dixon joins us every week, talk a little Cruton, and there is a big-time prospect that's set to announce on Saturday. We'll get the latest from Shea next on AFR.
After further review.
Massive congratulations to my guy, Darren James, with the awards just continuing to pour in, and I got this in my inbox earlier today. I'm so happy for Darren and so proud of all the work that he's done, and there's so many different people that he's been able to help throughout his professional career in the many different ways that he helps people realize their goals and their dreams. But Darren James, 2 more honors in 1 week, a back-to-back recognition in the 2025 annual report. Also, Darren James and Associates named in the Capital Region's top 100 private companies in the 2025 annual report by the Baton Rouge Business Report. So 2 more honors for my buddy Darren James. Listen, the bottom line is, if you need to sell your home, Darren will work harder to get your home sold faster for more money. Guarantees it. It's his guaranteed sale program. Ask him about it. Guarantees he'll sell your home at a price and a deadline you agree to. If he doesn't, he'll have it bought with cash or sell it for free. It's Darren James.
Think real estate. Think Darren James.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
At Luba Workers' Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief: our clients come first.
At Luba, our business has always been focused on people, not policies.
Through every success and challenge, we've continued to grow because we've stayed true to our values, committed to providing you with genuine dependability.
Because your well-being is more than a priority. It's our purpose.
You gotta believe in a dream. Believe. You gotta believe in a dream. Believe. You gotta believe. My whole team on wild.
ED, low T, or simply seeking to optimize your health and performance? Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness offers a range of discreet services to address your specific needs. We empower men to reclaim their health and confidence. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
After further review, powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana.
Riding home from Houston today. Saw a bunch of Sunshine billboards on the way. Of course, you want a Deere, bunky, and below. You're getting it from Sunshine. SunEquip.com, SunEquip.com. Shea Dixon on 3, the Bengal Tiger, joins us on Tuesdays. Talk a little Cruton. Shady, how are you, man?
I'm doing well. How are you, Matt?
Doing awesome. Hey, I know fall camp's going to open tomorrow. We're in the middle, or on Wednesday, we're in the middle of a dead period. Are we going to see recruits and prospects at practice observing? Are they going to be allowed to do that?
No, so they cut out, which was only really a week or maybe even less than that, where they used to do at the end of July. Everyone would have their the Bayou Splash and the barbecues and all that, and that was your one more chance to host kids or get face-to-face contact before you turn to fall camp, before they turn to, school and camp and all of that. So with that, we're in, I guess, right now, midway through a 2-month dead period, which I guess made that month of June that was busy with official visits and summer camps all the more important.
So it's interesting, Shea, correct me if I'm wrong. I mean, I know there's always a lot of prospects at spring practice, but don't we typically see guys find their way to fall camp to watch and observe practice during fall camp?
Often more of a spring camp thing. Gosh,
Okay.
I'd have to think back. And there was a time when a period of August was open, but now it is fully dead all the way up until, I guess it's either the end of August or if you play a game before the end of August, you could then have kids on campus.
Shea, does this make it easier, harder for staffs that are trying to recruit and finish off or bolster classes before guys start their senior seasons?
Gosh, I would say that nothing's easier in the NIL era and now rev share and balancing all of that when you recruit prospects. But I would, in the most simple form of answering that, I would think easier just knowing, okay, if guys are going into their senior year, they don't want to deal with distractions often of, recruiting and going on visits and all of that stuff. Most of it is done by the summer. So with a 2-month dead period, even a full month of July is big, but another month, I think, gives these kids, their parents, the family, the agents that represent them enough time to talk, think it over, and not be kind of getting new pitches in person from every staff that they go visit, during their kind of stretch of officials or unofficials. So I think it's almost like a dust settles moment, right? And then you kind of get things together and decide where you want to go, and then you can just focus on your senior year.
Okay. Shea Dixon's with us on 3 The Bengal Tiger. In the meantime, there are going to be some key announcements in August that impact LSU before guys start their senior seasons. One is coming up Saturday, and it's Deuce Gerald's. I know it's a guy we've talked a lot about. Here, less than a week from the announcement, Shea, what can you tell us?
Yeah, I mean, in the Deuce Gerald, he's a top 10 D lineman in this class, and coming out of Georgia, but he's going to leave the state of Georgia. And what makes this intriguing for LSU is that he's got family in the area because his dad went to Scotlandville, and his dad signed with Ole Miss when Frank Wilson and Coach O, all those guys were up in Oxford. So time flies. Matt, we've done this with Chad Jones and Jai Jean, everybody else. It's all, we're all getting very old, and we followed their recruitment and now their kids' recruitments. But Deuce Gerald's dad, I guess the connection, Ole Miss is a finalist because he's an alum there, but Frank Wilson being now at LSU and being the guy who recruited him up there and has kept up with him over the years, kind of his road put LSU into the mix. And then Oregon is obviously one of the better recruiting teams in the country, like LSU. They've been a favorite of his for a while as well. So I think if you're handicapping it, maybe you say Oregon's the leader, but I do think LSU outpaces Ole Miss at this point, even being the alma mater of his father.
I see over at Rivals, they've got Oregon with a 64% chance, followed by Ohio State at 26%. Ole Miss at 1.9, then LSU at 1.4. Can you explain maybe what those numbers mean and where LSU stands in that pecking order and the odds of maybe landing Deuce Gerald's commitment on Saturday?
Yeah, a large part of the disparity there is that the picks, the recruiting prediction machine picks, the lone ones in are on Oregon now. So like I said, they're kind of considered to be the front runner. I think it's going to be one of those things where he's on the phone with everybody all week. His parents are representation, all that. But I would say LSU, look, they have a hat on the table. They're going to have a shot. There was a time where I would have said definitely they're the leader, but Oregon is close stronger than a lot of players recently. LSU the same, but I'd give the Ducks a slight edge, at least today.
Shea Dixon's with us from On 3, the Bengal Tiger, of course, now merged with Rivals. So you see a lot of the Rivals branding on the recruiting side, the rankings and things of that nature. I know there's two other guys that are going to announce here soon, Shea, that LSU's keeping an eye on. One is Jace Matthews, another receiver out of Mississippi. We've talked plenty about Jason. I want an update, but Shea, maybe you can give us a little bit of an idea of why it seems like LSU has had so much success here in the past couple of years in Mississippi.
I mean, I think for one, the coaches will speak of border states being important. They circle that. We've talked about this before, Matt. The 7-hour drive. Like if you're within 7 hours of driving, you can go home whenever. Your parents can come in. Family can come in whenever in one day without having to do a hotel or an overnight stay somewhere to split it up or anything like that. And that helps not just obviously with recruiting the close proximity, but the transfer portal, because the data is already showing if you're coming from Ohio to LSU and you're not playing, you're probably going to go home. If you're coming from Houston to LSU, you may stick around because you're close to home. It's already the best option or one of the best options you have. So I look at that. I think that though Mississippi, Donovan Tate being on staff, who fellow Hattiesburg High grad like myself,
great point.
Maybe more importantly, Hattiesburg High has the number one receiver in the country, a 5-star committed to LSU and Tristan Keys. But Donovan's been elevated. He's been here a few years now, but to director of recruiting. And just look, the Pine Belt area, Oak Grove, Brett Favre's, we're kind of known for that area. And then Hattiesburg High, and then into Lamar, kind of that outstretch of the Pine Belt. LSU's recruited that area, which is where Donovan's from, and has a lot of connections really well. I mean, think about P.J. Woodland, think about Tyler Miller, who they just signed in December as the top-ranked lineman out of Mississippi. And now this year they're up in the Laurel area. And gosh, Bryson Cooley, who picked LSU over Bama, and a number of others. All of that, in addition to Keys, is massive. The most wild one is the one who's not from the Pine Belt. It's Emmanuel Tucker, their top 10 offensive tackle commit, who's from New Albany. That's like Ole Miss country. It would be, an Acadiana kid not going to LSU. That's kind of what we've always said is that would be one of the most shocking things to happen. So, from the top of the state to the bottom, they've recruited really well. And Chase Matthews is the next guy to watch for.
Yeah. I see there at the recruiting prediction machine, Auburn's pretty heavy favorite. Is that the lean right now, Shea?
I think, Matt, Auburn has always been considered the favorite. But really, look, Derek Nix, who played at Southern Miss, coached at Ole Miss for a long time. He had recruited him to Ole Miss as an in-state guy, and then joined that staff a year ago. But at the same time, I think that, look, Deuce Knight, who also is committed to Auburn, already signed. Those two are good friends. But LSU, Tristan Keys, all the commits I listed from Mississippi, they've been on him. LSU's been on him heavily, and he's talked up LSU in a big way. And I think that pairing him and Tristan Keys together, if you can get the number 1 and 2 receivers in the country, that's an unbelievable deal, let alone if they were from a border state, and you've already got the 2 best Louisiana receivers committed. So some might say pipe dream. I think more realistic than people realize. It's LSU or Auburn, or we'll see if A&M doesn't surge in kind of the final, 10 days here.
And then Shea, Darius Gray's the other one we've talked about a bunch, big 5-star offensive lineman. We got about a month still. It'll be August 22nd is his announcement date. But with it being a dead period, is there really much any of these schools can do to try to sway Darius Gray between now and his decision date?
I mean, you're always having the phone calls and communication and talking and making your pitches of development and Will Campbell going to the draft and all these different things. But for me, what I've noticed leading up to, and this is all, fair game here, but kind of leading up to announcements, one of the big things that you're discussing is NIL and rev share, which is now how you're splitting up and kind of allocating all of the money that's being given to football onto your team. And guys who could potentially join the team are wanting to know what they're getting, and they have representation for all that. I mean, I've talked to so many kids, Matt, who say, look, I stay out of it completely. I'm 17 years old, my parents just deal with our representation, and they largely handle any conversations with the schools. So that's kind of where we're at with things. And I'm not saying that's the deciding factor, but it's not something you talk about every day, the whole kind of stretch of your recruitment. But when you know you're committing in the next few weeks, that becomes sort of one of the big topics of conversation.
Sure. And with Gray, you know, it's we talked about Gerald's and Matthews in the RPM. LSU is not considered the favorite. With Gray, the 5-star offensive lineman, LSU is a pretty sizable favorite over South Carolina. Is this a 2-horse race, and where does LSU stand right now?
Yeah, I think it is. Well, Tennessee's in it, all that. There's maybe a couple of other teams you could say are going to have a hat on the table, or at least he's talked up here recently. But I think Lamar Brown, right? Like we all kind of knew all along it was LSU or A&M, and what would he do? But the inverse here, right? He's a Virginia kid, so I think the big thing LSU battles here is distance, right? South Carolina's been on him a long time, and they're not far from home. At the same time, he's been very high on LSU. Steve Wiltfong, our national recruiting reporter, has had his pick on LSU for a bit now. And Matt, you've seen it. Brad Davis just seems to have a knack for going out there and grabbing a 5-star every cycle, even if he's not from Louisiana. And Gray's kind of been that guy, at least from the earliest stages of who Brad Davis identified and offered.
He is Shea Dixon on 3, the Bengal Tiger. Make sure you get him on Twitter at Shea Dixon. By the next time we speak, Shea, we'll know Deuce Gerald's decision and what domino or chain reaction that domino falling will cause in the recruiting world. We appreciate it as always, man. Thank you.
Thanks, Matt. Have a good week.
You do the same. Shea Dixon from On 3. We're brought to you by Parish Construction and Roofing, parishbuilt.com, parishbuilt.com. I always say commercial or residential. Of course, you know, I was actually in Houston yesterday. Got a message from good friend Gary Dewey. They needed a little roof inspection. Got them connected, getting someone out there up on the roof this week, and we'll get them taken care of. Yeah, if you got an issue with your roof at your home, we'd love to help. But we also have a full commercial division. And we hired Matt Pearson, who's our commercial roofing manager, went and scoured the country, found him in Florida, and brought him to Baton Rouge, and now he's running our commercial division. And I don't know that there's a soul walking the face of planet Earth that knows more about commercial roofing than Matt Pearson. So if you have any issues with your commercial building, the roof, we would love to help. Repairs, replacements. I mean, look, I think about Industraplex in Baton Rouge, all those metal roof buildings. You want to find ways to lower the temperature in those metal buildings. There's products we could put on top of the roof to make that temperature in those buildings lower, which will save you money on cooling costs. Anyway, let us help you out. Parish Construction and Roofing. Go to parishbuilt.com, parishbuilt.com. Tell you every day, do business with someone you know. Parish Construction and Roofing, parishbuilt.com. All right, y'all, it is After Further Review. We're glad you're hanging out with us here. We're going to head up to Clemson, South Carolina in 30 minutes. Check in on Clemson as they open fall camp, and Jon Stinchcomb here next hour as well. Stick around. It's AFR.
After Further Review.
Inching closer to the start of the football season, remember Watermark and Renaissance. If you're starting to game plan for game day, remember Watermark and Renaissance. Watermark downtown, Renaissance Southtown. Watermark is awesome. Baton Rouge's premier hotel property. It's in downtown Baton Rouge, voted by you the best hotel in the best of 225. It's gorgeous. Baton Rouge's original high-rise building, the old Louisiana National Bank building, where they've preserved all that history, but added modern amenities. I mean, you could stay in downtown Baton Rouge, a short drive south on Nicholson, and you're at campus. I mean, what an awesome way to stay on game day. And then, of course, remember, the Renaissance Hotel is on Bluebonnet. They call it Southtown. Bluebonnet right near I-10. That's where LSU, the football program, stays Friday before game day. So if you have family, friends, clients, colleagues coming in town for football games, make sure they book their rooms now. Downtown at the Watermark, Southtown at Renaissance.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram is taking $22,500 off MSRP on the brand new 2025 Ram 1500 Laramie with $22,500 off MSRP with a complimentary 7-year powertrain warranty that comes with all new Bayou Automotive vehicles. If you need sales or service, the crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
We typically think of stress as being bad for us.
At Our Lady of the Lake and LSU, we are researching how certain types of stress, such as exercise, can be good for our immune health. By studying people under extreme stress, such as athletes, astronauts, service members, and first responders, we're learning how to improve the immune health of everyone. That's the power of research. That's the impact of champions. Together, we roar.
The Windsor Senior Living Community in Mandeville, Louisiana is a beautiful, vibrant apartment community geared toward seniors. They are nestled right in the heart of Mandeville, where seniors live a more carefree lifestyle in spacious apartments with the peace of mind that comes from having a little extra help. Call the Windsor at 985-624-8040 to schedule a lunch and tour. Come see how the Windsor can be your passport to peace of mind.
Men, age is just a number. Don't let it dictate how you feel. Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness has anti-aging services that can help you look and feel your best. Visit yourgoodwood.com and discover a renewed sense of vitality.
At Ochsner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Ochsner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one: you. Ochsner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
At Luba Workers' Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief: our clients come first.
At Luba, our business has always been focused on people, not policies.
Through every success and challenge, we've continued to grow because we've stayed true to our values, committed to providing you with genuine dependability.
Because your well-being is more than a priority. It's our purpose.
After further review, powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana.
It was one of the greatest second basemen of all time, and it was Ryne Sandberg who made us all dream because he looked like the average guy that can hit home runs, hit 40 in 1984. The team was excellent. We got to see it in the afternoons at Wrigley, and he was that neighborhood guy. He really personified what playing in Wrigley was all about in the daytime. And for so many Cubs fans, just, this is one of the saddest days in Cubs history, along with Ernie Banks and Let's Play 2, because those two are going to be now accompanying each other in heaven. He will be forever missed.
That was Eduardo Perez. Was at the Astros Nationals game last night when I saw the news that Ryne Sandberg died. And for a lot of people, especially younger fans, Sandberg maybe doesn't really resonate, being that it's been a quarter century, more than a quarter century since he played, and maybe more notable for his managerial career to the younger audience, the younger baseball fan. But when you're my age, and a lot of you are we're similar in age and demographic, this one hits home a lot because, there isn't I know we talk about it often, but there isn't a Major League Baseball allegiance in Louisiana. There isn't in the way that everybody loves LSU in this state. Like, there just isn't that thing. Like, if you're from Illinois, I mean, you have Cubs, White Sox, but most everybody's Cubs. If you're in Georgia, you're a Braves fan. But people here people my age, grew to love baseball because during summer, when you're out of school and you're at home, you got to watch the Cubs during the day on WGN and the Braves at night on Turner. And for me, my first favorite player as a kid was Ryne Sandberg. I wore 23 and had flip shades because of Ryne Sandberg. I still have all my baseball cards from when I was a kid. None of them are worth a damn thing because it was all the junk wax era. But I have an entire binder that is just every single Ryne Sandberg baseball card ever, including his rookie cards. I love Ryne Sandberg. When he got in the Hall of Fame, it was a super touching moment as a fan. It brought a lot of nostalgia for me, as I'm sure it did for many of you. And watch a lot of those Cubs teams with Mark Race and Sean Dunston and Doug DeCenzo. I mean, Joe Girardi. Thinking back about those days, but Andre Dawson. But Sandberg had a long battle with cancer, and it's just very sad. I mean, it's very. It just reminds us all of our mortality, but it's an emotional one for people my age, because listen, it's true. As you get old, you're going to lose your heroes, and people close to you pass. Just live long enough, and it'll happen. I think we all understand that. But this one strikes a chord for a lot of people, and it also reminded me last night, just how poor of a job Major League Baseball is doing in marketing itself. Because I mean, I was a kid from Louisiana, like many of you, who grew up loving Ryne Sandberg, but only knew of Ryne Sandberg because I could watch the games on WGN. And baseball then did a much better job of marketing itself. And it does such a poor job now of allowing people to watch its product. And as a result, you don't have things like kids from Louisiana who grew up loving Ryne Sandberg and wearing 23 and flip shades because of him. But I'm glad for those days and those times. I mean, as a player, Sandberg was undeniable. It's why he's a Hall of Famer. He and Jeff Kent are the two greatest power-hitting second basemen of all time. And he was just awesome, man. He was so cool, and loved watching him play, loved the 23, loved Rhino, the whole thing. And so it was really sad to see that he passed after a long battle with cancer. But where he belongs in the Major League Baseball Hall of Fame, and will be forever immortalized there. So condolences to everybody, within the Sandberg family and the Cubs organization. But I know that's one that hits home for a lot of people here. I tweeted about it last night, reading the responses there, looking at my show text line today with a lot of the responses. For people sort of in my age group, I'm 43 now, but for us 40-somethings, Sandberg dying is a heavy one. So, condolences to all Cubs fans and Sandberg family and everyone who knew and loved him, man. Rhino, 23 forever, man. All right, it is after further review. I'll just kind of clumsily transition here. Glad to have you hanging out with us here. Let's go around the SEC.
Around the SEC, bringing you the biggest news from the nation's best conference, the Florida Gators.
I just got a couple of stories here. If you were listening to SportsCenter at the top of the hour, they mentioned this, and you'll probably continue to hear this. DJ Lagway is going to be limited at the start of fall camp. He's actually in a walking boot right now, so he missed a lot of the offseason program with a shoulder injury. And Billy Napier said that's not expected to limit him. That's healed, but now it's something else causing him to be in a walking boot. No specifics or recovery timeline disclosed, said to be limited, but you start to worry or wonder, like shoulder, boot, all these different things, do all those add up? We'll continue to monitor it, though. Also, Florida cornerback Dijon Johnson will not face prosecution for 2 felony charges that followed a traffic stop in May. You don't say. A Florida football player not going to face felony charges. I feel shocked.
The South Carolina Gamecocks.
Jeff Collins has been added now officially to South Carolina's staff. He'll be a senior defensive assistant. Last year, he was the defensive coordinator at North Carolina. You might remember Jeff Collins, previously best known for being the head coach at Georgia Tech and Temple, now joining Shane Beamer's staff as a senior defensive assistant coach. 28 years of coaching experience, has been at 6 of those seasons, in the SEC.
The Tennessee Volunteers.
Josh Heupel says Boo Carter will remain part of Tennessee's team, but it's got to work his way back onto the field. No timeline to get back into the good graces after dealing with his absence for a month following a falling out between team leaders and the sophomore Carter's reportedly not been with the team since the middle of July, whenever the team was at SEC Media Days. He's expected to be the starting star linebacker, the star position, not like star theoretically, like Harold Perkins, the star position, after he was a freshman All-SEC a year ago.
The Mississippi State Bulldogs.
And offensive line prospect Cameron Thompson has committed to Mississippi State. He's out of Florida, 6'3", 300 pounds. He's a composite 3-star. Picked Mississippi State over Auburn, Georgia Tech, Kentucky, and others. He's the number 111 interior offensive lineman in the country, the 26th commit for this year's cycle. All right, there you have it. That is around the SEC. Man, I love telling you about Supper Club. After being closed Sunday, Monday, they're back open now on Tuesday. How about today, after you're done with work, don't go home, head on over to Supper Club on Perkins Road in Baton Rouge. You can get your reservations at supperclubbtr.com, supperclubbtr.com. You can always book your reservations there. Not too early to start thinking about football season, those Friday nights before football Saturdays in Tiger Stadium or the road games. Get your reservations now. You have people coming in town for football Saturdays. Make sure you make Friday night before the game. Make Supper Club part of your football weekend. Supperclubbtr.com, supperclubbtr.com for reservations. Chef Layton's always cooking up something new. Adding bison to the menu a couple of nights a week is something new that they're adding. Always trying to add fresh new ideas to the most exquisite menu you'll find anywhere in Baton Rouge. It's Supper Club. Book your reservation today at supperclubbtr.com, supperclubbtr.com. All right, y'all, it's after further review. We're glad you're hanging out with us here. We're going to head to Clemson in about 15 minutes from right now. Jon Blau covers the Clemson Tigers as they start to open fall camp. We'll get a preview of LSU's season opening opponent. We'll do that coming up in about 15 minutes from right now. But a big event going on tonight in Baton Rouge. We'll tell you about it next on AFR.
AFR.
Tell you what, whenever you do a 3-hour radio show outdoors while wearing jeans in Houston in July when the heat index is 114, a few things sound more appealing than a swan dive into your swimming pool. I wish I had that option yesterday after I wrapped up AFR, but when I get home tonight, I will absolutely have that option. And you could as well if you call Duplessis Builders. Look, Derek Duplessis is awesome. We've told you about it. Recently, they were named by Pool and Spa Magazine a top 50 pool builder in America. They came in at number 26 on that list. And it's for a lot of reasons. They build beautiful pools, and many do. You can go look at pool companies' Instagrams. They build beautiful pools. There's a lot of them that do. The difference with Duplessis is the craftsmanship. Duplessis Builders offers a 10-year workmanship warranty. A decade, 10 years. The industry standard is 1 year. Get to know the difference with Duplessis. DuplessisBuilders.net. DuplessisBuilders.net.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Looks like the lucky just got luckier. Dos Equis.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
At Luba Workers' Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief. Our clients come first.
At Luba, our business has always been focused on people, not policies.
Through every success and challenge, we've continued to grow because we've stayed true to our values, committed to providing you with genuine dependability.
Because your well-being is more than a priority. It's our purpose.
Baton Rouge's home for real rock. It's Eagle 98.1. Foo Fighters. Led Zeppelin. AC/DC. Pearl Jam. And the flagship home for LSU sports. Take us anywhere with the Eagle 98.1 app. Eagle 98.1 is the rock station.
At Sunshine, we know what you see when you look at your land. Where others may see dirt, you see the foundation you've built your life on. It's hallowed ground. It's past, present, and future. We're proud to provide quality John Deere equipment to help you maintain the land you love. Check out our current promotions and learn more about what it means to be powered by sunshine at sunequip.com.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756.
After further review, powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana.
All right, wrapping up hour number one. Baseball in Baton Rouge actually isn't over. This big game tonight. The Baton Rouge Rugaroo are in the postseason. The owner of the Baton Rouge Rugaroo, Rugaroo, joining us in studio. How are you, man?
I'm doing great. That's 37-10, best record in the TCL.
That, man? And y'all kind of got a little lucky this year with the weather too. Like, there's always a little bit of a challenge with summers here.
Yeah, I mean, we technically only lost one game due to rain out. Now, we had a couple others that we ended up moving and playing a doubleheader. But, yeah, I guess last year I think I lost 5 home games. This year technically I only lost 1, so I'll take it.
Yeah. So fill us in. So 37-10, a great summer for the Rugaroo. What's going on tonight?
So tonight is the first game of the playoffs, the Texas Collegiate League playoffs. Or the way they do it is the Louisiana division takes on the winner takes on the winner of the Texas division in a 1-game winner-take-all this Saturday for the championship. But in order to get there, the Rugaroo are going to play the Acadiana Cane Cutters, our big rival, in a 2-out-of-3 series.
Baton Rouge against Lafayette.
That's the battle of I-10.
I tell you, man, our audience in the 337 right now is dog cussing me. Pick a side, Moscona.
So game 1 and game 3 would be in Baton Rouge. Hopefully there isn't a need for a game 3. But game 2 will be tomorrow night at Fabacher Field in Youngsville.
Okay, so tonight at Pete Goolsby.
At the Gold Mine, Pete Goolsby Field.
Tomorrow in Youngsville.
Correct.
Game 3, if necessary, back in Baton Rouge. Yep. Okay, on Friday.
On Thursday.
I'm sorry.
Tuesday, Wednesday,
Thursday.
Right.
And then a day off, and then the championship would be...
Championship game would be in Baton Rouge because we're the number 1 seed. So if we get there, we know we're going to host.
Okay, awesome. So tonight, 7 o'clock first pitch?
Yes.
At the Gold Mine.
The Gold Mine.
Is that a new thing we're going
with? It is.
With?
We went with it this year.
Okay.
Pete Goolsby Field. You come up the box. You come up with a nickname. I like the Gold Mine.
Like, what did we call, like the Shrine on Airline? What did we call it when it was the baby cakes?
They still called it the Shrine on Airline.
Oh, did they?
Yeah.
That's unfortunate, actually. The Gold Mine makes sense. It's Pete Goolsby Field. The Gold Mine, that actually, like the Gold Mine down in the French Quarter, had a lot of
but no Flamin' Dr. Peppers this year. But next year, our liquor license is a 2-way license, Coach. We might be doing that. We could be going with some Flamin' Dr. Peppers in the first base concession stand. But anyway.
And y'all, by the way, I know you always have entertainment. So, it's July 29th. A lot of families, before the kids go back to school, may be looking for something to do tonight. Rugaroo games are affordable. It's great entertainment. What y'all have going tonight?
Yeah, so of course we got the 2 inflatables for the kids. The Raising Cane's kids run the bases during the 5th inning. You get to run the bases. We give everybody a free kids meal, gift certificate. I think we've given out like 3,000 of them this year. It's been crazy.
Good.
I don't think Todd knew what he was doing when he signed up for that. But it's going to be a lot of fun. But
he can afford it.
Stephen Milam's going to be out there. Monster Milam tonight. He's going to be throwing out one of the ceremonial first pitches. He'll be signing autographs to all the kids behind the third base dugout. Once we get the game started. Also, Brian Kelly, first day of camp. They report today at 4 o'clock over at LSU. They start camp tomorrow. BK's going to be out there throwing out the first pitch as well, the winningest coach in college football. And we also, some other celebs, Cajun Ninja, who's one of the great chefs, going to be cooking up some pastelaya, selling that out there. We got Dane the Great, big social media content guy, really funny, from the Hammond area. We also have DJ Rhett, if you've checked him out. I mean, lots of Madison Stroncheck. She's got over 1 million followers on TikTok. Like, a lot of celebs going to be out there having a good time.
Got some Zydeco players that'll be out there
Zydeco hockey night as well.
That's awesome. And so BK, is he throwing out the first pitch, you said, or Milam
He is. No, Milam is, and BK. We got multiple ceremonial first pitches.
Multiple ceremonial first pitches. Look, man, Brian Kelly the night before LSU opens up fall camp. That's a big pull getting out there. So y'all get out to the Gold Mine tonight. 7 o'clock. How much are tickets buying there?
$8 for adults, $5 for kids. Man, you can't beat it.
Yeah, super affordable. $8 for adults, $5 for kids, and tons going on as well. So, and I saw also the which they all conference
all
or all league,
team.
the all league
all
teams
league
released,
team came out.
and yet some guys that played at Blaze Priester was on it as well. So really good
So
summer.
Blaze Priester was on LSU's roster this spring. He's now transferred to Southeastern, where he'll be their starting catcher next year. Had a really good summer. The Live Oak High product, hit 290, led the league with 8 home runs, 50 RBI. I mean, we only played 47 games. He had 50 RBI. Had a great year. Got better as the season went on. Josh Shelley, seems like he's been playing with us forever. This is his 3rd season with the Rugaroo. He's now officially out of eligibility, but he was the MVP of the TCL in 23 and now again in 25.
Wow.
Really good player. Plays at Tennessee Wesleyan, hit 399 over there this year, hit 355 for us. And then Casey Artigues, who Jay Artigues' son.
Oh, it's Jay's son. Okay.
Yeah. So Casey
Where does
Artigues,
he play collegiately?
He's now going to Nichols next year, but he was at the Raging Cajuns last year. He had a really nice year, played a little over half our games, left field, really good left fielder, had a fantastic year, hit over 360. And then Fabian Hernandez, who's pitching tonight, has been the best pitcher in the league the last 2 years. He's 15-2, and in the last 2 years, this year, 7-0 with a 1 ERA.
Wow.
He's going to toe the rubber, the lefty from the Dominican Republic. And then J.D. Rodriguez was another all-TCL player, a big 6'6" righty from Tulane, from California. He had a nice summer.
7 o'clock tonight, game 1 of the championship series to punch the ticket to the championship game on Saturday. 7 o'clock tonight out at the Gold Mine, Pete Goolsby Field. Rugaroo, thank you.
Thank you, Matt.
All right, y'all, good luck tonight pulling for the Rugaroo, unless if you're listening in Lafayette and you want to pull for the Cane Cutters. But look, Baton Rouge. Let's go Rugaroo. Hour 2 next.
AFR.
We're brought to you by the Williamson Eye Center, 924-2020, 924-2020. If you want to see 2020, call 924-2020 or go to williamsoneye.com. Remember, parents, back to school is right around the corner. The Williamson Eye Center is a full-service optical shop. So not only can they perform that refractive procedure, LASIK, PRK, the EVO ICL, the custom lens replacement, you can also get your annual eye exam at the Williamson Eye Center. And if you buy contacts and glasses, you can buy them at the Williamson Eye Center as well. They have a full-service optical shop. And they've got locations all over Greater Baton Rouge, right there on Bluebonnet. They've got Zachary and down in Lutcher, the newest up in St. Francisville as well. So check them out. You can schedule that appointment online. Make sure you get your kids' back-to-school eye appointment scheduled at the Williamson Eye Center. You can log on to williamsoneye.com. That's williamsoneye.com for the Williamson Eye Center.
Value Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram is taking $22,500 off MSRP on the brand new 2025 Ram 1500 Laramie with $22,500 off MSRP with a complimentary 7-year powertrain warranty that comes with all new Bayou Automotive vehicles. If you need sales or service, the crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
When it comes to industrial construction, River Parish Contractors can do it all. Mechanical, structural, custom fabrication, specialized welding, and turnaround services. Strategically located in between Baton Rouge and New Orleans, we have the local team with the experience and commitment to safety to manage the most complex industrial projects. Period. Here's the deal. Partnering with us means your project is delivered on time, on budget, and most important, safely. River Parish Contractors, let's get building.
It's not just a game, it's a religion. You've got your team colors, team swag, and now your very own website. LouisianaSports.net. Everything LSU, Saints, and Pelicans. Sports on demand. In-depth coverage by sports writing pros with continuously updated news. And with the LouisianaSports.net newsletter, you get pinged directly with top trending stories. Best of all, now and always. No paywall. It's free. LouisianaSports.net. Powered by 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. Your home for Louisiana sports.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world.
They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar, but instead, they've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Looks like the lucky just got luckier. Dos Equis.
We're Rev Business, a local provider with nearly 90 years of experience. So when it comes to business in Louisiana, we know that personalized service is key. And we're here to go the extra mile with all fiber solutions that deliver what every business needs: reliability and quality. We're not just providers. We're the local team dedicated to helping you succeed. True partnerships are homegrown. Rev Business, internet, phone, managed services. Visit us at letsrev.biz.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. Breck, your #1 park system in the nation.
At Luba, our business has always been focused on people, not policies. We've continued to grow because we've stayed true to our values, committed to providing you with genuine dependability. Because your well-being is more than a priority, it's our purpose.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell, in a memo to staff, said there will be increased security at the league's offices in the days and weeks to come following yesterday's deadly shooting at a Manhattan office building. The shooter had targeted the headquarters of the NFL but took the wrong elevator. A note in the shooter's wallet suggested he had a grievance against the NFL over a claim he suffered from CTE. What happened yesterday at the forefront of the minds of many at training camps today, including Jets head coach Aaron Glenn.
I think that happened yesterday at the league office. Man, just as an organization, our thoughts and prayers go out to all the families. It's always tough to hear things like that and really to try to stay focused, but you have to because you have a job to do. But you think about the families that go through that. And it's tough.
Ravens tight end Isaiah Likely rolled his ankle at practice. He's expected to miss a few weeks. We'll have an MRI tomorrow. Florida quarterback DJ Lagway, dealing with a calf sprain, is in a walking boot as fall camp opens. No timetable for his return. Baseball, Orioles handed the Blue Jays a third straight loss, 16-4.
Hey, it's Michelle Smallman, and coming up Wednesday, we continue our ESPN Radio Rank 'em series with my bottom 5 worst teams in the NFL. It's on Sportsmanlike, 6 a.m. Eastern, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studio.
That's right!
Hour 2, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. It's AFR, powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana. I'm Matt.
Love you, Matt.
Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
And Mr. Toby Tomplin. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there, make it a good one. Former Saint Jon Stinchcomb will be here in 13 minutes from right now. As the Saints are off and running in camp, one of the biggest storylines, of course, is that reshaped and very young offensive line. We'll talk about it with Jon Stinchcomb again here in less than 15 minutes. LSU opens up at Clemson. We are a month and a day away from August the 30th, arguably the most anticipated opener in college football. Maybe Texas, Ohio State with something to say about that. Clemson set to hit the practice field. Jon Blau, good enough to join us for a couple of minutes here to kind of look at some of the Clemson storylines. Jon, we appreciate you hopping back on, man. How are you?
I'm good. How are you, Matt?
I'm doing really well, man. Tired of talking, ready to actually watch some football as we get closer to it. What is the biggest storyline there for Clemson in fall camp that people are talking about?
That's an interesting question. I mean, obviously, most of the roster is back to Clemson, so not too many position battles, maybe running back, where you have Adam Randall, who's a converted wide receiver, moving to running back. Obviously, have to fill the shoes of a workout horse in Phil Maffa, who was the guy who got pretty much all the carries. But I think just generally, it's just a team that's going to live up to the hype, because a lot of off-season predictions, of Clemson getting back to the playoff, making a deep run, maybe even being a national title contender. But everybody's remembering, at least here, that last year they got beat at home by Louisville. You barely beat Pittsburgh. You lost to South Carolina, backed your way into the playoff. Are you really a better team just because you bring back all the same players? And so how have they improved, if they've improved at all?
Yeah, where do you fall on that line, Jon? Because we have had that conversation. I mean, you got a fifth-year senior quarterback, a really good coach, maybe the best defensive line in the country. But there are all the things that you mentioned as well. Like if Miami doesn't blow a big lead at Syracuse, Clemson doesn't make the playoff or doesn't make the AC championship. So where do you fall on that line?
Yeah, I think I'm trying to be realistic about it. That there's kind of a 50-50 shot here. I mean, like you said, lots of really important pieces coming back. You have a senior quarterback. You saw Cade Klubnik get so much better from sophomore year to junior year. You kind of expect maybe another jump junior to senior year. A receiving core is probably the best they've had in a really long time. A couple of freshmen, Wesco and Moore, who should be much better as sophomores, and a whole offensive line coming back. So, I mean, this is a team that should be able to score a lot of points. But, again, South Carolina only scored 14 points on them. So just because you bring everybody back doesn't mean you're better. So it remains to be seen. It's kind of like a coin flip for me in terms of whether this is the same team with a lot of the same players that do kind of a lot of the same things, or this is just a team that's really developing over time, and you're going to see them make many, many more plays because they have so much continuity and chemistry, and they've gotten older and more mature and better.
Jon Blau's with us, Clemson beat writer for the Post and Courier. It's interesting because whenever we talk about Clemson, at least from the outside for so long with the transfer portal, it was that Dabo wasn't really interested. This is a year, though, where they did dabble in the portal. Who are maybe some of the impact guys or positions that Clemson did add?
Yeah, so they brought in 3 players in the transfer portal this offseason, and they brought in 2 since 2018, and they were both backup quarterbacks prior to this offseason. So a huge number compared to what they've done in the past. So Will Helt, the defensive end from Purdue, he's supposed to be the most impact guy in terms of they did not have a defensive end opposite of T.J. Parker last year. So you bring in Helt, 6'6", 265, pass rusher. That will really balance that line out, kind of complete that line. It's kind of what they're hoping for. A linebacker, Jeremiah Alexander, a 5-star coming out of high school, a teammate of Peter Woods, who's the star defensive lineman for Clemson. He's going to be a really key depth piece at linebacker. I don't think he's going to start at linebacker, but the guy you're going to see on the field a lot. And then the wild card is Tristan Smith, who's a 6'5" receiver they got from Southeast Missouri, who they came into the spring, Dabo Sweeney said, with 5 guys who they felt they could start a receiver, and they came out with 6 because he thought Tristan Smith really proved himself. So all 3 of those guys could have an impact. Held, I would say, is the guy that is going to have the biggest impact overall, you would think.
Jon, is there a question that they'd like to get answered in fall camp on either side of the ball?
Yeah, again, who is the running back? Obviously, if Cade Klubnik is as good as everybody thinks he is with that receiving core, you're going to throw the ball a whole lot, and you're going to make defenses push defenders out of the box. But you still need a guy to keep opposing defenses honest. And so is Adam Randall, who has been a receiver for 3 years, really the answer there? Is it a young freshman like a Gideon Davidson, who was a 4-star recruit, one of the best running back recruits in the nation? Who is going to be that guy who would kind of take pressure off of Cade Klubnik and keep that offense on schedule? We really got to figure that out in fall camp, because right now it's a lot of question marks. Again, if your most experienced player has played receiver for 3 years and they're going to try to running back, that's a little bit of an open question.
Jon Blau is with us. A couple more minutes here. Clemson beat writer there at the Post and Courier. You can get him on Twitter at Jon, Jon_Blau, BLAU, at Jon_Blau. Great time to follow as we get closer to the opener with LSU and Clemson, which obviously, John, there's been a huge focus here. Brian Kelly hasn't hidden from that this offseason, that they are focusing so much on an opener, which is a little bit of a deviation from what he's done in his entire career. How much focus is there on LSU as their team, coaches, just the fans, narrative all up there? How much of the focus is on LSU here a month from the opener?
I'm sure there's a huge focus internally inside the building, but Dabo has been pretty smart not to feed LSU any bulletin board stuff back, because obviously we've all been hearing Brian Kelly talking about our Death Valley is the Death Valley and Death Valley Jr. over there. That's definitely been heard by a lot of people over here in Clemson, but you ask Dabo Swinney, you ask the players about it, they just say, well, that doesn't matter. We're going to settle on the field August 30th. And Dabo says, well, go research the facts. And our Death Valley was actually the first one. It was 1945. But they've been pretty diplomatic about it, I would say. But they're definitely talking about it. Dabo can be pretty political on the outside and very savvy, again, of not really feeding the other team any bulletin board material, talking about how great they are. But I'm sure on the inside, in those meeting rooms, Dabo has mentioned these Brian Kelly comments at least a couple times, I would bet.
John, I'm glad you brought up Dabo, because he's such an interesting character. He's been at Clemson now since 2008. There was the whole idea of Clemsoning. He blew that out of the water. They win 2 national championships. And then it kind of felt like maybe they've wandered, maybe I don't know, maybe ceded that spot at the top of college football to Georgia. Where is the temperature with Dabo and the program right now?
Yeah, I think getting back to the playoff made everybody a little more content. I mean, those 3 years outside the playoff, especially after a streak of 6 straight, obviously those national championship games, winning a couple, I think there was a lot of negativity over those years in terms of just the fall off. And obviously we're paying Dabo Swinney all this money, the same as a Nick Saban. Why can't you just be Alabama? Which obviously is really hard, especially out of Clemson. It doesn't have quite the same budget. But I think, again, getting back to the playoff really helped things. I think a lot of people have kind of put it into perspective that, hey, you just had a couple of generational quarterbacks, and Deshaun Watson and Trevor Lawrence back-to-back. That is not the way things normally work. And I think fans were reminded of that with DJ Uyunglele and then kind of some of the struggles that Kate Klubnik had to go through early in his first season as a starter. So I think there's been perspective about it, and I think maybe even a little bit of positivity that, hey, Dabo's had a great record in terms of retention. He's been able to keep all of this talent in-house and be able to develop it and grow it. This is just kind of the year where it has to kind of all come to fruition and show that, again, you can bring guys back, but they have to get better. They have to play at a certain level where you're beating LSU's, where you're beating South Carolina, getting to the playoff, maybe making a deep run. So this is a huge year for Dabo, I think, to kind of continue to move that narrative in the right direction for him.
He is Jon Blau from the Post and Courier covering the Clemson Tigers. John, we appreciate it. Thank you.
Thanks. Appreciate it.
That is our pleasure. It's After Further Review, brought to you by First South Farm Credit. Thinking of buying land? Your first call should be to First South Farm Credit. Look, thinking about buying hunting property? This is the best time. Summer, now when you're prepping those summer food plots, you want to bring in the deer now. You want to build that deer stand now. You don't want to do it right before hunting season. So this is the time to reach out to our friends at First South Farm Credit. They have been first in agriculture for more than 100 years, since 1916. If you are thinking of buying land, your first call should be to First South Farm Credit, firstsouthland.com, firstsouthland.com. Of course, there can be great tax benefits to owning land as a landowner. Of course, you'll incur expenses. They can be tax deductible, so ask your CPA about the benefits of owning recreational timber land. It's First South Farm Credit, firstsouthland.com, firstsouthland.com. All right, y'all, it is After Further Review. Thanks to Jon Blau for spending a couple of minutes with us. It's interesting to hear the perspective from someone who covers Clemson that there's still some, I don't want to say hesitancy, but maybe that's the right word. Just a little bit of, you got to prove it. It feels like you got the right roster. You got to prove it. Not as much of a slam dunk, no doubt, this is the team to get it done type mentality. But they'll have the opportunity with a veteran quarterback and a really good roster. Same will be said for LSU. So we'll keep an eye on the Clemson Tigers as they get closer to that August 30th opener with LSU at Clemson. The Saints are inching closer to their preseason opener next weekend. Jon Stinchcomb, former Saint great offensive lineman who's on the call for the Saints preseason games, he'll be with us here when we come back on AFR.
AFR.
I want to remind you about Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. I got a text earlier today reminding me that it was time to reorder my NAD+. It is such a convenient way to go about these treatments. Yes, I mentioned at Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness, they have ED treatments. If you suffer from ED, they have options, plural, options. Yes, they have pills, but other things as well. So contact them, let them help. Hormone replacement therapy. I mentioned BPC 157. So many studies, so much research and evidence to suggest how that aids in recovery. NAD Plus is something, if you look it up or want to learn more, it will literally reduce your cellular biology, make your cellular biology younger. It's amazing technology where science is right now, and you can safely, affordably supplement yourself to get back to those healthy levels and feeling like your younger self. Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness can help. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team. And backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Parish Construction and Roofing. This is Coach Kim Mulkey. Go to parishbuilt.com for all of your roofing needs. From your hometown, parishbuilt.com.
At Luba Workers' Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief. Our clients come first.
At Luba, our business has always been focused on people, not policies.
Through every success and challenge, we've continued to grow because we've stayed true to our values, committed to providing you with genuine dependability.
Because your well-being is more than a priority. It's our purpose.
ED, low T, or simply seeking to optimize your health and performance? Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness offers a range of discreet services to address your specific needs. We empower men to reclaim their health and confidence. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
At Ochsner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Ochsner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one. You. Ochsner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
These ice cubes could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they cradle and cool the crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Nicely done, ice cubes.
After further review, powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana.
Tractors, gators, zero-turn mowers, I got it all. You want a Deere, you want Sunshine, sunequip.com, sunequip.com, title sponsor of our Tuesday shows all throughout the year. We appreciate our friends over at Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana. We appreciate Jon Stinchcomb. Whenever he can give us a few minutes of his time, he does that now. John, we appreciate you, man. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me on.
It's all
about some football.
Yeah, man. It's always our pleasure, and it's nice that the pads are on and they're popping. Let me actually start there, John. Just from a guy who did this for so long, how does camp change whenever you move to full pads?
It starts, right? So up to this point, it's all mental and movement, and now we get to see what it actually looks like. I think back to that rookie season for Jari Evans. A guy like him comes out of a small school, and quite honestly, it's not till you put on the pads until you see, boy, this guy's different. And when you're talking about offensive and defensive linemen, we're not talking 7-on-7 pass scale in the off season where you get to evaluate guys as they just run around in their underwear. Now it becomes real football, and you see guys get better and kind of distinguish themselves from the herd.
So that's going to be it's interesting you went there, because that's going to be a really interesting storyline for this Saints team on the offensive line, because, man, John, they have a ton of draft capital invested in that line, but they are young and going to be experienced at spots. We talked a ton last year about Taliesin Fuanga moving to left tackle. Now he's moving back to right. If you would walk us through what challenges are there for him doing that.
Well, I was really impressed with how he handled it, stepping into that left tackle role, coming out of college, and almost exclusively his experience was on that right side. So I think this will be a natural transition for him, more so than what the ask was this time last year. So I think that transition is a good one. Hey, you talk about the draft capital that the Saints have invested in their offensive line. It's kind of strange to think that the lone projected starter of that group, who's not a first-round draft pick, may be and probably is the foundation from which they've built upon, and that's Eric McCoy in the middle. So a lot has been invested, and a lot should be expected from this group.
Do you have an early opinion on Kelvin Banks from what you've seen?
I do not yet. I can't wait for this preseason to play out. I know this, the way the game has evolved and the rules and restrictions that exist for every team out there in the NFL and the number of plays and snaps that you get, each one is going to be vital for him to get up to speed. The expectation is that he's the day one starter at left tackle. And for any young player, and especially seeing and reading everything that's come out of camp, he can't get enough reps. And the talent is there. You talk and listen to the quotes from guys like Chase Young, who've been around a while. They recognize why he was the number 9 pick in the draft. And you see the talent and just ability every time you watch him move. But it's the nuances of the game, and that's what really defines those great players. And what we saw from Fuaga is even in preseason, but certainly throughout the season, he continued to get better. You saw the technique come along. You saw the recognition of some of the things that I don't even want to use the term plagued him, but challenged him early on in the season. He learned from, and that comes from just reps on reps. So for Banks, it'll be the same. Day one starter as a rookie, that you have to come in and you're learning on the job, and it's how quickly can you get up to speed.
Jon Stinchcomb is with us. I'm glad you mentioned the reps, John, because I did want to ask, your career didn't end that long ago, but it was still such a dramatically different time in the NFL. Before the latest CBA, limited practice time, limited physical contact. Like, you went through the 2-a-days in Jackson, Mississippi. I mean, like those brutal camps that we've heard that are sort of the stuff of legend. Do you think, can you maybe sort of help illustrate for us maybe the difficulty or challenge or difference for these guys now that are going to be asked to do what you just said, be day one starters, like a guy like Kelvin Banks, without having the reps, the practices, and the physicality?
Yeah, and I think that's where you see it most. The offensive defensive line is those reps where it is full speed, it is full padded, and you're seeing, you come out of college, and this hasn't changed. You've seen guys as big as what you'll see in the NFL, and you've seen guys as fast as what you'll see in the NFL. Now the issue is that's the same guy, and their skill level is they're professionals in their field, and it's really advanced. So luckily for both our tackles, you have seen they are athletically gifted. They move really well. They're super powerful. And they're starting with an athletic base that most folks only dream of. Now it's a matter of how quickly can they learn the game and pick up the technique that will allow them to kind of accentuate their athletic ability. And because of the change in the CBA and the rules regulations, I think it has impacted primarily the offensive and defensive lines' early development. Now, luckily for the Saints, you're talking about guys that are, uniquely gifted. And I think really it's felt more for guys that kind of come later in the draft or undrafted free agents that aren't as far along in their development. But for all these players, they need those reps. And, it's a cost-benefit analysis that, as a veteran, I would like to have less reps in the offseason. I would like for training camp to be shorter or less physical, and that will extend my career. But for young guys that are trying to get started, those reps are invaluable, and you need as many as you can get to get your feet underneath yourself and get up to speed and hopefully start that long career that everyone's shooting for.
Yeah, it's such an interesting paradigm. The other guy we got to talk about, of course, is Trevor Penning, who is moving positions now for the third time in as many years, from left to right, now to guard. John, what do you think about the decision and what we should expect for Trevor Penning here in this camp?
Well, I was pleasantly surprised with his performance last year, and I think that's where I'd like to start in his evaluation. It was not perfect. I don't think anyone expected it to be, but it exceeded my expectations. And what was on full display are his strengths, which is his physicality. You saw in the run game, and I think that married well to the system he was under and a part of this past season. We don't know exactly what it's going to look like under Coach Moore's tenure. So it will be interesting for all of us to see as it unfolds which way they lean. But you look at the way this offensive line is built now, and the ability of to kind of highlight their strengths with Banks. I saw him firsthand in Texas, and the physicality that he brought, and you pair that next to a guy like Trevor Penning, who, even coming out of college, we all knew that he loved to finish and he was physical, and that was on full display last year. So I think it's a matter of how quickly he can adjust to everything happening now and not having to all the space that he did have on those edges, and that can either be to his benefit or his detriment. And in those situations, he can win quick, but you also can lose quick. And I think we've seen some reps early on against Brazil that kind of highlight that. So there's a learning curve. I think there's a bigger learning curve for Penning going from tackle to guard than there is for Fuaga going from left to right.
Oh, it's interesting. Okay, two more. Jon Stinchcomb, our guest. Always appreciate your time, your insight. Of course, John will be on the call for the Saints preseason games again this year. 3 preseason games. First one coming up a week from Sunday on out in L.A. Are you going to be out in L.A. for any of those joint practices, by the way?
Nope, not going to make it out for the joint practice.
Okay. It would be easy to assume that Spencer Rattler has a slight edge just because he's the incumbent. He's got a year under his belt. How much, if at all, of an advantage does Rattler have as they start this quarterback competition in your mind?
Well, I think for both him and Haener, being able to understand what it takes. He's been in actual NFL games. You want to lean on that. You know the preparation that it takes week in and week out to be ready to head in as the starter. With that said, Shuck is a guy that he's been a part of football and a part of a number of systems for a while now. And it's going to be a fun competition to watch. I think for all Saints fans, they're just hoping that there is a clear and decisive front runner so that we know who to get behind and cheer for. And, at this time of camp, the promotion is it's good for all. Iron sharpens iron. The competition's great. The closer we get to September, I think the more everyone would benefit from, this guy just stood out, and it's going to be undeniable.
You like to switch to a 3-4 on a Brandon Staley?
You know what? I think because of the way the game is played today, it makes a lot of sense. With that said, I think Coach Allen did a really good job especially when he was defensive coordinator, of highlighting that 4-3 is not the dinosaur that some have made it out to be, but the variability that you get with a 3-4 and able to highlight the athleticism of guys and really scheme up against the way the offenses attack defenses now. I think you almost, it certainly allows you to be a little more flexible. So I think it can make for a challenge game planning against, especially once you get the right, horses in the stable, if you will.
Jon Stinchcomb, Pro Bowler, Super Bowl champion, always generous with his time. John, we appreciate it, man. Looking forward to seeing you on the call here a week from Sunday.
Appreciate you having me on.
It's always our pleasure. Jon Stinchcomb, former Saint Great. It's After Further Review. We're brought to you by Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry, lmfj.com, lmfj.com for Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. Y'all, we're into the summer months. Of course, right now, a lot of people are thinking about back to school, whatever the case may be, but before you know it, we'll be into the fall, we'll be nearing the holidays. Maybe you're planning a proposal around the holiday time. This is the time where you're starting to budget, start to shop, thinking about paying for it. Get by Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. Amazing selection of so many different pieces of jewelry. Not only beautiful diamonds, if you're looking for that forever diamond, but necklaces and pendants and gorgeous watches and timepieces, writing utensils. You find it all at Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. You can make an appointment if you want to make that appointment to go visit with one of their experts and their client advisors to help you find just the right thing at that local store near you, with 9 locations in all. They're online at lmfj.com, lmfj.com. 4 decades in the business, 4 decades of being in the celebration business at Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry, lmfj.com. It's After Further Review. Halfway home here on a Tuesday, presented by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana. Shea Dixon was here last hour. John Blau, Jon Stinchcomb, they're back-to-back, talking Clemson and the New Orleans Saints. We will talk to Sean Fazende here in about 45 minutes, as well as Saints had a walkthrough today, as they were scheduled initially to have a day off and ended up having a walkthrough, second of 5 consecutive days of workouts. As we mentioned there with Jon Stinchcomb, New Orleans will head out to L.A. They'll do joint practices with the Chargers, and then they'll play a week from Sunday. 3 preseason games. They'll go Sunday, Saturday for the final preseason game, as all the NFL preseason games in that final week of the preseason will be wrapped up by that Saturday, because they'll have cut down days before they get into the a full game week. So for everybody. So it is upon us. And if you missed it, LSU, just as we were coming on the air today, announced their practice schedule. So the Tigers reported today. You might have noticed on all the social media, got fitted for pads and all that sort of stuff. And then they will be on the practice field tomorrow, Wednesday, at 9:45 a.m. with media availability. So I'll be there at 9:45. I'll have a full practice report on AFR at 3 o'clock. And Brian Kelly speaks with reporters after the first day of practice. So we'll look forward to that. It is here. We are in it starting tomorrow. All right, it is After Further Review. Let me knock out a quick break. We'll continue. By the way, old dirty Ocho Cinco. Didn't pay up on a bet, 2 years old, and guess what? He's being exposed. Not the first time he's done it. You'll hear it next. It's AFR.
AFR.
Brought to you by Action Industries, proud partner of LSU Athletics. Y'all, we're in the middle of turnaround season, really through October. You know that. I've got a turnaround coming up. Looking for a company to bid your turnaround. Would love it if you'd give our friends over at Action Industries an opportunity to win your job. Hey, look, at Action Industries, the Advanced Turnaround Group is a subsidiary of Action Industries. So it's the same great company, but it's a completely different set of resources. It's the Advanced Turnaround Group. It's managers, it's workers, all with expertise, spending their careers in turnaround work. At the Advanced Turnaround Group, they offer 24-hour availability for emergencies. They offer specialty welding services. You're going to get that personal attention that you always get with Action Industries. These people whose entire careers are centered around turnaround work. It's the Advanced Turnaround Group over at Action Industries.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Huh. Looks like the lucky just got luckier. Dos Equis.
Today, we are shaping tomorrow.
We are researching how extreme stress impacts the immune system, from trauma victims to athletes and even astronauts.
Our work is leading the way in sepsis treatment, saving countless lives.
We're unlocking the mind with music in exciting new ways.
Our Lady of the Lake Health and LSU are improving the health of our state.
That's the impact of champions.
Imagine the impact we'll have on the future. Together, we roar.
Men, age is just a number. Don't let it dictate how you feel. Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness has anti-aging services that can help you look and feel your best. Visit yourgoodwood.com and discover a renewed sense of vitality.
At Luba Workers' Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief: our clients come first.
At Luba, our business has always been focused on people, not policies.
Through every success and challenge, we've continued to grow because we've stayed true to our values, committed to providing you with genuine dependability.
Because your well-being is more than a priority. It's our purpose.
Businesses like yours are the soul of our community. You deserve someone who'll deliver the internet services you deserve. That's why local businesses rely on Rev Business, 90 years of building connections. Visit us at letsrev.biz.
After further review, powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana.
You know, I often tell you that you sometimes are my best eyes and ears. I'm just one person. I'm one person with a lot of responsibilities around here, and so I'm not locked into every piece of content that everybody is putting out every day, all day long. So a lot of times you all will see or hear things on other people's shows, podcasts, whatever. Send it to me and say, Scone, did you see this? Did you hear this? And then that's sometimes launching points for topics and conversations that we do here on the show. Well, shout out, hat tip to Steve Lumine Jr., 42 years old, from Paulina, Louisiana. Just so we know we got the right Steve Lumine Jr. He sent a note to me on my text line. So for those of you who wonder, do I actually read the text? Is that actually me replying? Yes. It's an app called Community that I pay for, and it goes to my phone, and you can text it. You can text me. I can read it. I can reply to you, all that sort of stuff. Anyway, 225-396-4400. Try it. Text me right now. 225-396-4400. Text me right now. Shout out your name. 396-4400. Anyway, Steve Lumine said, hey, Matt, Stephen A. just called out Ocho Cinco on First Take for not paying up on his bets. Uh-huh. Yep. Not surprised. I'll remind you, when the Saints signed Derek Carr 2 years ago, I destroyed the signing. Ocho, we made a clip out of it because Ocho made all these cockamamie predictions about Derek Carr leading the league and this and that. I made a joke and said if Derek Carr gets to make outlandish claims, then, well, I get to do it too. And I said something like I get to be a Head & Shoulders model like Troy Polamalu. I'm bald if you're not watching. We turned it into a little short-form vertical clip, put it on social media. Ocho saw it and he replied. And then he threw out a wager. We let our audience decide what it would be. And if you're not familiar, the Ocho, the Ocho Cinco. He was supposed to come to Baton Rouge and co-host AFR with me for a day. This was the agreed-upon bet. And if I lost, I was going to do a show at Don Juan promoting his cigar brand. I even said, look, I'll buy several boxes and give them out to listeners, all that sort of stuff. I'll do a big deal as a hat tip and a thank you. Ocho lost, and he has dodged me now for 2 years. Year and a half? I guess year and a half? 2 years? Year and a half?
No, I'd say 2 years.
Well, since the end of the season. The end of 2 seasons ago. So about a year and a half. So he's dodged me for a year and a half. And apparently I ain't the only one. Shouldn't be surprising, though. Because if you're going to renege on a bet, you'll renege on another bet. And another and another and another. But I'm just me and little old Baton Rouge. Stephen A. said this on First Take.
Molly, I was interrupted because, Molly, I just wanted you to know for the record, as much as I love my brother Ocho Cinco, there's 2 things he owes me. He owes me dinner. He never came through. And he owes me a pair of shades. And he's never come through. I mean, I'm just saying. I just want to point that out, Molly. I just wanted to let you know that, CC, the brother didn't come through. He ain't kept his word yet, but it's all right. I'm calling him out on national television. Now we can move on. Let's talk football.
You know what? It's so funny. I owe everybody. I owe ISO Joe $200. I owe Unc $5,900. Now I owe Stephen A. dinner and glasses.
That's not something to brag about.
I got a lot of jobs.
You don't brag about owing people. Pay up.
I have a lot of jobs.
Thank you.
I have a lot of jobs. So I've been busy.
Let's go, Mom.
I want to tag Stephen A. I want to go find our old clips and the bets that we have with Ocho, and I want to go tag Stephen A. I want to tag First Take. I want to do all that because I need Stephen A. Because very clearly, Ocho didn't pay up for Stephen A. Didn't pay up to Unc. Who else did he say on there? He had somebody else money? I forgot who else he said on there. Did you hear what he said?
No, I couldn't understand him.
Anyway, so apparently Ocho keeps going out there making bets, losing bets, and not paying up. And so I would like for Stephen A. to be aware that Ocho also made a bet with me and did not pay up. So I'm really disappointed, man. I think, I love Ocho. I love that he used to do, little dances in the end zone. I think it's wildly creative that he changed his name legally to Ocho Cinco so he could put it on the jersey. Because the NFL wouldn't let him put Ocho Cinco on the jersey, so he legally changed his name so he could have Ocho Cinco. I mean, a brilliant marketing move. I think he's super smart, funny, entertaining, genuine. I think there's tons to love about Ocho Cinco. But I do not like the fact that you make a wager and you don't pay up. There is something about it's integrity. Integrity is what you do when no one's looking. It's your word. And if you make a bet and you don't pay up, that lacks integrity, and I got a problem with that. I mean, he's in the same category as that old loser I used to let call into the show who owes me $500. I'm not going to mention his name. Old Jack Leg. Let me ever see that guy in person. He may not pay me. Maybe I'll beat it out of him. Anyway. Love me some Ocho. I do not love this about Ocho, however. So let's go find all our clips. Do we know where they are, where all these clips are?
I mean, I assume Instagram, Twitter, X.
Let's find them.
I have no idea.
Let's find them. Let's get Stephen A. tagged. and make sure he's aware that that Ocho, and I would like for everyone else, if you're listening, watching, you could probably go find these clips as well, or the tweets that with me and Ocho and our bet, and maybe go find him, quote tweet him, and tag Stephen A. and let him know that this is far. You know what? Maybe a better idea to do is just to have Jesse put together a new video with Stephen A. and Ocho doing their thing, and then saying, like scratch 2 years prior. Here's our situation with Ocho. Ocho's still not paying up. That's what we'll do. We'll do a totally new piece of content. We'll throw Stephen A. in there as well. Ocho, and at this point, I'm kind of like, do I even want Ocho to come here? Like, do I want him to come here? I mean, I kind of do.
Yeah, you do. I mean, it's Ocho Cinco. I mean, that'd be huge. Like,
yeah, but what's that going to do?
It does feel like now much more of an obligation, right? He's just here because, man, he's just been called out so much about it. Yeah, it didn't feel like he's like he wants to do it type thing.
Let's have Ocho on the show. That'd be cool. But what's that going to do? I mean, all of a sudden, we're like people in Malaysia going to start watching the show every day. People all over the world, all of a sudden, can't wait to get my Saints and LSU fix from the bald, angry guy.
Malaysia?
Yelling about it. I was just picking a random country. The Micronesian guy.
Okay.
Zoolander. Anyway, Ocho just out here owing money to everybody, least of which is me. That darn dirty Ocho. All right, we're brought to you by Evermore. Walked into a gas station today. Had Evermore in there. Love that. I love when I open up my text line or my Twitter, and y'all are sending me pictures of Evermore. Got one yesterday, as a matter of fact. I'll tell you exactly where it was. Nope, that's... It was at the Drug Emporium on Bertrand across from Cajun Field in Lafayette. Shout out to Jason Este, who sent me the photo of it. I love it. Y'all send me pictures of Evermore where you see it out in the wild. And make sure you buy some and drink it because you want a better form of hydration, a healthier option for your family. If you're an athlete who needs a better form of hydration, you want Evermore. EVAMOR, Evermore.com, Evermore.com. All right, y'all, it is After Further Review. Talk some Saints with Sean Fazende in about 30 minutes from right now. We'll grab a break. Muse will do Tigers and the Pros. Don't you move. It's AFR.
After Further Review.
Summer's here. If you still want to add that beautiful pop of color to your outdoor space and you're not sure what to add, Clegs can help. I was talking to some friends actually in Mexico, and they were talking about how they got these boxwoods or these ferns or something. I don't know exactly what it was, but they were for the front of their home, but it's direct sunlight, and they didn't fare well because apparently this is a type of plant that doesn't do well in direct sunlight, and so naturally the plants didn't survive. Those are the types of things that won't happen if you go to Clegg's Nursery because, like I always tell you, take a photo of your yard. If you're not sure what to buy, ask their horticulturist there, based on where the sun faces, what needs direct sunlight, what doesn't do well in direct sunlight, what needs a lot of care, what needs a little bit of care, what can last. All those questions so you know what to get, where to plant it. Clegg's has the answers, and of course, they've got the selection. So buy local and shop local. Tell them Matt sent you in to Clegg's Nursery.
Flight by Yingling is raising the bar by crafting the next generation of light beer. With only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories, this is premium refreshment 6 generations in the making. Flight by Yingling. Raise the bar.
Gulf Coast Bank & Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank & Trust, the bank that cares about you.
When it comes to industrial construction, River Parish Contractors can do it all. Mechanical, structural, custom fabrication, specialized welding, and turnaround services. Strategically located in between Baton Rouge and New Orleans, we have the local team with the experience and commitment to safety to manage the most complex industrial projects. Period. Here's the deal. Partnering with us means your project is delivered on time, on budget, and most important, safely. River Parish Contractors, let's get building.
You gotta believe in a dream. Believe. You gotta believe in a dream. Believe. You gotta believe. My whole team on wildin'.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
After further review, powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana.
Shout out to John Wilson. Shout out to Matt Bryant. Not falling for it, Matt. Shout out to Mike. Keep that going. Shout out to Mike LeBlanc. He said, hey, Matt, it's Mike. Just testing the text line. Caleb Williams said, better save the Ryne Sandberg rookie card. By the way, it's not Ryan. It's Ryne. Show some respect. John Call, what's up? Ray Cavan, what's up? Ty Fly said, you're not airing on TV today. It says you are in the guide, but you aren't on the air. Yeah, no, it's Paul's fault. Way to go, Paul. Actually, I don't know whose fault. Let's blame Musa. Do that.
You always do anyway. Was that
you didn't turn your mic on yesterday during Around the SEC.
Fixed it?
You were 90 seconds into the segment. I'm texting you two goons, hey, you got to push the button to turn your mic on. And you know what came? A flood of it's not even 420 texts.
Yeah. Of course they did. We fixed it. We handled it. I mean, it's fine.
It's an essential part of this medium.
It is. We nailed it.
When you
for Tigers
speak into this device, it doesn't work if the mic's not on. You got to turn the button on, Muse.
Yeah.
I mean, my guy was just in it, rolling along.
Ready to
I
go,
text
man.
Muse, you're not on air. You don't reply. I text Paul, he's not on air. And I'm watching you two on YouTube. I'm sitting there at the Rustic watching, and I see Paul look down and go like, huh. Hey, hey, check your text.
Say, hey, man.
Hey, you're not on air. My guy didn't turn the mic. You wonder why I blame you. You didn't turn the mic on.
It happens.
No, it doesn't.
Yes, it does. You forgot to turn the guest up a bunch at SEC Media Days
never
on
happened.
Digital Drive.
It's a big difference if you say one word and then you pot it up. You spoke for a minute and a half with your mic
I
off.
could hear myself, though. That's the problem, because the fader was up. The microphone just wasn't on. So I didn't notice because I could hear myself in my headphones.
I'm sure they were great stories, though, Muse. I'm sure everything that you didn't get to share with the audience were super impactful.
They really weren't. I mean,
my goodness.
Kentucky hired a coach. Who really cares?
Let's see. That's way to go, Muse. Just tell our audience don't care about the things we're talking about. Matt, can you please shout out Trip Daniel? Thanks, big fan. There you go, Trip. I've turned into Casey Kasem. Keep your feet on the ground. Keep reaching for the stars. Requests and dedications.
I like when Caleb Williams texts the show.
Yeah, no. Casey Kasem was an old radio guy, for those who don't know. Casey's Top 40. Like the Ryan Seacrest Top 40 countdown now that used to be Casey Kasem. Okay, Muso, turn on your mic and do Tigers in the Pros.
Tigers in the pros. They still bleed purple and gold. They're just really rich now.
Begin with a hearty congratulations to Tommy White. That's right, Tommy Tanks is on the move, up to Double-A now. Played 66 games in High A this season, hit 260, 11 bombs, and 36 RBI. He will now be in Double-A Midland with the Rockhounds still in the athletics organization.
That's a shame.
Yeah, they're terrible. Alex Bregman, 2 for 5 a night ago. Home run, 14th of the season. Gave the Sox the lead. His second consecutive game with a go-ahead home run would drive in 3 in that ball game. He's back up to 300 even with the average. Man, it's a bummer the injury. It's kind of screwed him up a little bit, but it's still fantastic year, as to be expected. Grant Taylor came in, closed out the game for the White Sox on Monday night. Not a save situation because they were up 4, but he did have a perfect inning of relief. 2 strikeouts involved in that one. Josh Smith continues to swing a hot bat. 1 hit a night ago, but it was a triple. His second triple of the season. He also walked, came around to score in the ballgame as well. And then Anissa Morrow, another start for the Connecticut Sun, 9-7 a night ago. 17 minutes played in total in that start. That's Tigers in the Pros.
Total.
You coughing? You need a cough drop?
He's coughing a little bit over there, Paulie.
I wasn't coughing. You were coughing.
Do we need to run back the tape, Paulie? Do we need to roll that back a little bit over there? I mean, it sounded like you got a little choked up on a word, didn't you?
A little bit there, yeah.
Midnight toker at Muse.
It's different than coughing.
Brought to you by River City's 1 Hour Air. 752-0001. 752-0001. Where they're always on time or you don't pay a dime. If your AC isn't cooperating, I'm doing the wrong one. I know. I was going to roll with it. I was going to roll. But then you had to make a really weird face. Sometimes you just roll with it, Muse. They don't know if you don't tell them. I'll do it later anyway. Well, I mean, because now I'm out of time. Because you derailed me. Yeah, you did.
After further review.
We're brought to you by Shaw Bills Tire and Auto Service, ShawBillsTire.com. I was thinking of River City's 1 Hour Air because a listener texted me and said, what's the AC company you use? So I literally just texted him that. Shaw Bills Tire and Auto Service, ShawBillsTire.com. Since 1968. Y'all, they always will sell you name brand tires at wholesale prices. I get it. Like, spending a lot of money on tires is not a fun thing to do. It's fun to spend a lot of money on a vacation. It's fun to spend a lot of money on a new car, on toys, on things that you want. It's not fun to spend a lot of money on tires, but you got to have them. So Shaw Bills is going to work their hardest to get you the best price possible on the best tires. Best tires on the road at the cheapest price. Go to the website, ShawBillsTire.com, ShawBillsTire.com. There's a promotions tab at the top. It'll show you every single special they're running always. ShawBillsTire.com, hit the promotions tab. And when you buy your tires at Shaw Bills, they're going to treat you like family, so you'll keep coming back year after year after year. Shaw Bills, we keep you rolling.
At Sunshine, we know what you see when you look at your land. Where others may see dirt, you see the foundation you've built your life on. This, it's hallowed ground. It's past, present, and future. We're proud to provide quality John Deere equipment to help you maintain the land you love. Check out our current promotions and learn more about what it means to be powered by sunshine at sunequip.com.
At Luba Workers' Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief. Our clients come first.
At Luba, our business has always been focused on people, not policies.
Through every success and challenge, we've continued to grow because we've stayed true to our values, committed to providing you with genuine dependability.
Because your well-being is more than a priority. It's our purpose.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
The Windsor Senior Living Community in Mandeville, Louisiana is a beautiful, vibrant apartment community geared toward seniors. They are nestled right in the heart of Mandeville, where seniors live a more carefree lifestyle in spacious apartments with the peace of mind that comes from having a little extra help. Call the Windsor at 985-624-8040 to schedule a lunch and tour. Come see how the Windsor can be your passport to peace of mind.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Looks like the lucky just got luckier. Dos Equis.
River Parish Contractors has immediate openings for structural steel shop fabricators. Call or text Big Jake today at 318-547-1000 or go to rpcontractors.com and click on employment. River Parish Contractors. Let's get building.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. Breaking news, a CT scan and MRI revealed no fracture on the right index finger of Diamondbacks third baseman Eugenio Suarez. He is being sought by various teams ahead of Thursday's MLB trade deadline. The AL leading Blue Jays looking for pitching, acquiring righty reliever Sir Anthony Dominguez from the Orioles for a pitching prospect, reports ESPN's Jeff Passan. NFL Chiefs receiver Hollywood Brown carted off the field at practice today with what appeared to be a right lower leg injury. Ravens tight end Isaiah Likely rolled his ankle at practice, is expected to miss a few weeks. In addressing his toe injury for the first time, Jets quarterback Justin Fields says all things considered, he's very relieved the injury isn't major.
We get our feet stepped on all the time at practice, so it just felt normal at first when I first got stepped on, but I tried walking off and it felt weird, like something was almost stuck in my toe. So I didn't really know what to think. I just knew something was wrong. Got carted and got the MRI and X-ray, and luckily they said it was just dislocated.
Jets quarterback Justin Fields, Florida quarterback DJ Lagway dealing with a calf strain, wearing a walking boot as fall camp opens.
ESPN Radio is presented by Progressive Insurance. If you're a renter, make sure you're protected. Renter's insurance includes options that cover stolen property, personal injury, and living expenses if your place is damaged. Quote renter's insurance at progressive.com.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studio.
Let's ride! Woo!
Hour 3, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. It's AFR powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana. And Mr. Toby Tomplake. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there and make it a good one. 5 o'clock quitting time. Glad you are driving home with us. Saints had a walkthrough day today after their first full padded practice of camp. Ross Jackson was there. He's going to have his reactions up and posted shortly. There was one injury. JT Gray, Kellen Moore afterwards gave the injury update on JT Gray after the veteran safety left practice with a hamstring injury.
Yeah, JT, it'll be kind of a week-to-week thing. He'll be fine. We just got to go through that process. He had a little lower body injury, and so, he'll be fine long-term, though.
Don't want to certainly not going to overreact. JT Gray's been a great reserve safety and an even better special teams player. He's one of the best special teams players in the NFL, which is how he's continued to have a job year after year. I just think it is, by contrast of what happened with New Orleans a year ago, if you remember, in camp, where they were in California. And so the thought and the theory was the weather's nicer, it's going to be more conducive for guys staying healthier. Well, it was like every single day another player was injured. It started with Kendre Miller at the beginning of training camp. DeMario Davis got hurt. I mean, do you remember, like, it was every day? It was almost like a punchline. Like, is this a sick joke? Every day someone else got injured. Now you're a week into training camp for the New Orleans Saints, and this is the first injury, is JT Gray with a hamstring. So they've stayed remarkably healthy so far through the early part of camp. Hopefully that does continue. Moore did also explain why they decided to have a walkthrough the day after. I mean, one full padded practice, then a walkthrough.
Our goal with kind of the pads yesterday, today we called it a regen day, just kind of recover. They were in the weight room, walk through, basically doing everything we normally do except for the practice component. And then after that, we got 2 days in pads. And so, now they got, tomorrow we'll get pads. They'll knock it out of the park. They'll do an excellent job. And then they got to respond the next day in pads again.
We are going to talk to Sean Fazende of Fox 8 in about 10 minutes from right now. He's been down there at camp. We'll get his thoughts on what he's seen and what maybe we're looking forward to here in these next few days before New Orleans heads out to L.A. for their week of practices, the joint practices, and then with Chargers, and then obviously the preseason game, number 1, a week from Sunday against the Chargers. It is After Further Review. We're brought to you by South Point Volkswagen, southpointvw.com. New and certified pre-owned in Baton Rouge and online at southpointvw.com. southpointvw.com. If you're in the market for a vehicle, put Volkswagen on your list. Tell you every single day, just put Volkswagen on your list. Go test drive one. You'll be thrilled that you did. If you're buying for yourself, if you're buying for your spouse, if you're buying for your child who's now driving, you want something that's affordable, but you also want the peace of mind of driving one of the safest vehicles on the road. I get that every time I buckle into my Volkswagen Atlas Cross Sport, when Erica drives in her Volkswagen Atlas, when I buckle Drew into his car seat, I know I'm driving one of the safest vehicles on the road. That's also really fun to drive. They got a current owner bonus right now as well, where you can get $1,500 loyalty bonus. You can check it out online at southpointvw.com for all of the dealer specials. southpointvw.com. South Point Volkswagen, what's your direction? We talked to J.D. Piquel at SEC Media Days, and when we talked to him, J.D. was leaning toward LSU, picking LSU to win the national championship. J.D. Piquel, if you're not familiar, is with On3. And he has gone on record now over at On3 on his show, The Hard Count, and on the On3 website. J.D. Piquel has picked LSU to win not only the SEC, but also to win the national championship. So as far as I know, I think J.D. Piquel becomes the first national media member that I've seen anyway to predict LSU to win the national championship here in 2025. For what it's worth, JD, if you're not familiar, he did play college football. He played in the Ivy League. He played at Cornell. Really smart guy. Well, obviously he's smart. He played at Cornell, but great dude. Really enjoyed getting to know him at Media Days the past couple of years. Loved that he picked LSU to win the national championship. But he told us back at Media Days why he was so high. I mean, the way I phrased it to him, I was like, if you're not driving the LSU bus, like, you're sitting shotgun. Like, you're in the front row of the bus for of maybe the NUS bus for 2025. Here's what he said.
I think so much of it is the climate of the SEC right now. Like, we're looking across the board, and everyone said this, I feel like, ad nauseum, but there's so many just new dudes pulling the trigger. You start to, do the process of elimination of, like, quarterbacks you believe in, and I'm like, I know what Garrett Nussmeier is. I know, at the very least, I know what he is as a first-year starter. And he gets another year. He gets more weapons. They went to work in the transfer portal. And, I for better or for worse, I don't think I'm in the camp of Brian Kelly being the problem. Now, is he without flaw. Is he a perfect head coach? I don't think that exists. But this idea that he's the one holding them back, guys coached over 20 years and won 70% of his games, north of that, probably not the main issue, so to speak.
The other thing that JD mentioned in his On 3 show, and I think there is absolutely validity to this. Sometimes we start to craft narratives around coaches, and they become accepted until they become disproven. For example, we coined a phrase, not we, collectively college football, Clemsoning, for a long time. I mean, for about the first 8 years that Dabo Swinney was the coach at Clemson, Clemsoning was their inability to win a big game until they won 2 national championships, beating Nick Saban's Alabama Crimson Tide in both of those championship games. Clemsoning all of a sudden wasn't a thing anymore. Ryan Day. I mean, Ryan Day, a month before he hoisted the national championship trophy, lost to a 500 Michigan squad. And a lot of Ohio State people wanted him fired for losing 4 straight to Michigan. And then they win the national championship, and you don't really hear that much anymore. That's just kind of the narrative that follows coaches until it doesn't anymore. And Brian Kelly is in that number. He's in that number. Look, that was Mac Brown for years. Mac Brown, they won, it was clockwork. 10 wins at Texas. Clockwork. But they could never get over the hump and win a championship until they did with Vince Young in 2005. And so it feels like Brian Kelly's in that same group. He's an undeniably great coach. He's been a head coach for 35 years. He's the winningest active coach in college football. All the things we've seen and said. He got Notre Dame to the BCS championship game, got him the 4-team playoff twice. Like, Brian Kelly is objectively a very good head football coach. Is he capable of winning a national championship? Well, that's why he's here. And if the narrative is he's what's holding LSU back, well, that can be the narrative until it isn't anymore. Now they have to go win and prove it. They got the roster to do it this year. But the other part of what JD said there that y'all know I completely agree with is the quarterback component of it. I mean, maybe I am just more bullish on Garrett Nussmeier. I know a lot, like, people here are bullish. I'm just thinking, outside. A big part of it, yes, is being bullish on Garrett Nussmeier. Another part of it is very much taking a wait-and-see approach with the other guys that a lot of people are assuming are going to be really good. Maybe Arch Manning is awesome, or maybe he has a lot of growing pains in the first year as a starter against a really tough schedule. I mean, Lenoris Sellers averaged 150 yards passing for the first half of the season. He was objectively very bad throwing the football. And then he improved in the second half of the season. But then they went to Clemson and scored 17 points. Were they really that good? They got locked up in the bowl game and lost to Illinois. I mean, it wasn't great. We could talk about DJ Lagway. He was 6-1 as a starter. That's very impressive. He also had almost identical stats to Michael Van Buren, who nobody lauds. I guess that's just the point, is whether it's coaches or players or whatever narratives get built. I go into a season making projections thinking, what do I know? What do I know? Who has the fewest questions against the most manageable schedule? And that's one of the reasons. I mean, that's why I like LSU. It's why I picked LSU to win the SEC. I think they should be in the SEC championship game. I've said pretty routinely, I think they're 10-2. I'd pick them to lose to Clemson, go 7-1 in the league, get to Atlanta, win there, and hopefully go on a run in the playoff. But J.D. Pickell not only picking LSU to win the national championship, he's picking LSU to be the number 1 seed in the college football playoff and to run the table through the college football playoff. So see if the Tigers can prove J.D. Pickell prophetic. Would love to see it. But that's at least one national media member who's riding with the Tigers here in 2025. All right, it is after further review from the purple and gold to the black and gold. Sean Fazende, Fox 8 New Orleans. He's here next on AFR.
AFR.
GLO, glowresources.com. What industry do they service, Matt? All of them? You mean accounting? Yep. What about legal? Yep. What about broadcasting? Sure do. What about construction? All of it. Skilled blue-collar labor, professional placement division with any white-collar job. if you need to find the right people to make your business more efficient, you need Glow Resources. That's the best way to say it. And one of the things I love, in getting to know Jareth Nakan and the company and the culture they've built, which is so amazing, they still keep Baton Rouge and New Orleans as home base. Listen, they have offices in Miami and Orlando and Houston and all over the place. And they service companies all over the world, literally. But their corporate headquarters are still on Perkins Road in Baton Rouge next to Pennington. And Baton Rouge and New Orleans are still home base. So if you need the right people, you need Glow Resources. Check them out at glowresources.com.
We typically think of stress as being bad for us. At Our Lady of the Lake and LSU, we are researching how certain types of stress, such as exercise, can be good for our immune health. By studying people under extreme stress, such as athletes, astronauts, service members, and first responders, we're learning how to improve the immune health of everyone. That's the power of research. That's the impact of champions. Together, we roar.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram is taking $22,500 off MSRP on the brand new 2025 Ram 1500 Laramie with $22,500 off MSRP with a complimentary 7-year powertrain warranty that comes with all new Bayou Automotive vehicles. If you need sales or service, the crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Parish Construction and Roofing.
This is Coach Kim Mulkey. Go to parishbuilt.com for all of your roofing needs.
From your hometown, parishbuilt.com.
Baton Rouge's home for real rock. It's Eagle 98.1. Foo Fighters. Led Zeppelin. AC/DC. Pearl Jam. And the flagship home for LSU sports. Take us anywhere with the Eagle 98.1 app. Eagle 98.1 is the rock station.
At Sunshine, we know what you see when you look at your land. Where others may see dirt, you see the foundation you've built your life on. This, it's hallowed ground. It's past, present, and future. We're proud to provide quality John Deere equipment to help you maintain the land you love. Check out our current promotions and learn more about what it means to be powered by sunshine at sunequip.com.
We're Rev Business, a local provider with nearly 90 years of experience. So when it comes to business in Louisiana, we know that personalized service is key. And we're here to go the extra mile with all fiber solutions that deliver what every business needs: reliability and quality. We're not just providers. We're the local team dedicated to helping you succeed. True partnerships are homegrown. Rev Business, internet, phone, managed services. Visit us at letsrev.biz.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered.
After further review, powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana.
Saints had a walkthrough on Tuesday. Back at it, full pads on Wednesday. Sean Fazende, Fox 8, good enough to join us for a couple of minutes. Yo, man, how are you?
Good, man. How are you?
Doing really well. Sean and I have seen each other twice this summer. Once in Boston at Fenway, and once at the Smoothie King Center for Porter Holloway. I don't know how that keeps happening. That's a very odd thing, especially the Fenway thing, right?
Dude, when I saw that tweet, I'm like, whoa. Moscona's here? I'm in Fenway, too. You tweeted about that Aaron Judge home run. I was like, wow, okay. Pretty cool, but that was a hell of a game.
It didn't end like we wanted it to. But then again, the Yankees stink right now, so whatever. We'll just move on. I don't know if the Saints are any better to talk about, but let's do it. All right, so about a week into training camp, if I asked you if you had a couple, a handful, maybe of biggest takeaways so far, where would you start?
Yeah, I'll just start with just the overall operation of training camp. The practices are unlike anything I've ever covered. You know, we've covered training camp down here a long time, and I'm just so used to the 2.5-hour marathon practices with 30 to 45 minutes worth of hydration breaks, unlimited. It felt like endless drills, where all of a sudden you're putting in a 2.5 hour practice where I've never seen the lightning, fast pace that Kellen Moore likes to work with. OTAs, I was a little concerned because they really didn't do much. OTAs are light in general, but this was even lighter for that. So once training camp rolled around, first couple of days were ramp up, but really the last 2 or 3 days that we were out there, seeing how much work they were able to get done in an hour and 20 minutes was really something else. So no wasted motion, very intentional, very fast. It's a new generation way of thinking. Previous head coaches were Dennis Allen and Sean Payton, a little bit more at this stage of the game, a little bit more old school in their approach. Kellen Moore is a guy that seems to consult with the sports science staff a lot, and they're getting a lot of work in a very short period of time. In the last 2 practices, and the time it takes to get three team periods in, they were able to get 4, the amount of reps for 4. So very detailed, intentional, quick. You don't see a lot of endless drills. You don't see a lot of standing around. It's get in, get your work done, and get out. That's probably been my biggest takeaway so far.
Sean, last year, I was mentioning this, last year in Los Angeles, or in California, it seemed like in the first week there was an injury every day. It was almost like it became comical, almost like a punchline. So far, JT Gray's hamstring is I think, as we know, the only injury so far. Do you have anything you would attribute that to, or is that just kind of a luck thing?
Well, I guess it's a little bit of both, but I do know they've been very, very intentional about approaching the health aspect. Because look, we all watched what happened last year. I mean, there wasn't the hotter team in the NFL than the Saints after the first 2 weeks of the season, and the entire season, the train went off a cliff basically because of the insurmountable amount of injuries. And every year your goal is to get better in training camp, but also stay healthy. Somewhere is on that list of priorities. It just feels like it's much higher up the priority list in terms of staying healthy. And if that means, shortening practice, if that means, being a little different when you talk about, the stress they put on their bodies, whatever the case may be, it does feel like they've been very intentional. Now, look, football is still football. Contact is still contact, and things happen. So sometimes that can be a little random and a little, unlucky. But at least early on, you're talking about, you're starting to see around the league just a few injuries pop up, some big, some small. But early on, I mean, it's been a pretty clean bill of health, knock on wood.
He's Sean Fazende, Fox 8 in New Orleans. What about on the field? Player or position group that's caught your eye so far?
Well, obviously all eyes are on the quarterback position right now, and I'm sure you're probably going to ask me about that, but I'll just get to it now because, look, it's been something that everyone wants to talk about, everyone's watching, everyone wants to see. And look, right now it's Spencer Rattler is ahead. There's no doubt about that. He's a guy that's just more decisive. He's got more. He's have a better sense of timing. He hasn't been perfect, but he certainly, to me, it feels like the most comfortable right now executing the offense. Tyler Shuck is a guy that just right now the hesitancy, the indecision is killing him. It's sort of locking him up a little bit to where it's almost forcing an incomplete evaluation because there's just been so many instances in the first 6 practices where no decision has been made. So you see him about to throw a pass, pull back, he's indecisive, and so you're not even evaluating the football aspect of it. You're just you're trying to get him to get to the point where he's making decisions on time and in a timely fashion. It's just a lot of things happen. He's swimming a little bit right now. That's to be expected for a rookie. And obviously Jake Hanner is mixing in with the ones. But all in all, that's been where, the attention is gone. But other positions, I'm really liking what I've seen so far out of the edge pass rusher position with Chase Young, Carl Granderson, and Cam Jordan rotating in and out there. They had a really good day, the first day of pads. It's always hard to get a true gauge just because they're going up against, your own team. But as far as a position group, I like where that group stands right now.
Sean Fazende's with us from Fox 8 New Orleans. The other thing that I think is interesting, you talked about Shuck, but he's part of the largest rookie class we've seen in New Orleans in a decade. And so you got a lot of guys there that they're hoping can build the foundation of this roster moving forward. Are there other guys among the rookies that, good or bad, seem to be standing out?
Yes. Well, Kelvin Banks is at left tackle. He had one-on-ones yesterday, held his own against Chase Young, and I mean just threw Chris Rump to the ground at defensive end during one-on-one. He's a rookie, so he's got, obviously he's got a lot to learn, but this is the second year in a row, they're going to start a rookie tackle at left tackle. So he stood out. Danny Stutzman, the linebacker from Oklahoma, he's got a nose for the football that you just can't coach. He's just got to have that natural instinct. And there's been a few plays where he's popped just going sideline to sideline. And I don't remember him being a fast guy, but he seems to be in the right spot, which is A, football IQ, but B, you're getting the right read on the play. You understand where the ball is going, so you're in the right spot. And then Quincy Riley has one of the interceptions at camp so far. He got beat yesterday by Rashid Shaheed, but he also was able to make a nice play in the end zone, picking off Spencer Rattler. So the rookie class, there's certain guys that are developing, certain guys that are getting there. There's a lot of guys getting a lot of reps, but those will be the ones that have stood out so far.
What about the veteran additions? I feel like I'm hearing a lot about Devon Gottschall. Anybody else maybe that's making waves?
Trying to think of the veteran additions right now. Look, he just got here a couple of days ago, but Julian Blackman is a guy that I don't see how they're going to keep him off the field. I mean, retiring, they needed to get somebody quickly in here, and he's already stepped in and made plays. He got first-team reps today during the walkthrough, sure, but he still was able to get first-team reps. He's going to be hard to keep off the field. Trying to think of any other from the Justin Reed as well. I mean, the other safety there from but obviously from Baton Rouge area up there. He's another one that I think has made an impression early. He's going to be a starter as well. He seems to have more of a strong safety type where he gets down in the box. In fact, they did some dime work today where they had 3 safeties on the field, and it was Blackman and Jordan Howden the backfield, and defensive backfield split safeties with Justin Reed down in the box. So obviously there's some versatility there as well. Those would be a couple of the guys. We talked to Gottschall today. He's getting some reps. Obviously with the pads come on, you finally get a taste for what he can do well. And he's pretty open about the fact that he's a run stuffer. That's what he does in the NFL. That's how he's gotten on the field. That's how his career's lasted as long as it has. And honestly, that's what he was brought here to do. So Gottschall will be a guy that I'll count on to stop the run as well.
Sean, let me ask one more if I can. We tend to focus a lot on the highly drafted guys, right? We've talked about Banks and we've talked about Fuaga, and I think a lot of people are curious with Penning moving over. It's been really quiet around Brian Brzee. Was a really good interior pass rusher last year. Do we know yet what we can expect or hope to expect from Brzee in Staley's 3-4 defense?
That's a great question because of what he was doing last year as that get up the field sort of pass rushing deep tackle. Does the 3-4 system allow him to do that? Well, you hope so. You certainly hope so, especially since he really had to make up some ground in terms of stopping the run. I do think he's a guy that he's going to get on the field during pass rushing situations, and that when it becomes less of a 3-4 and more of a sub package type situation. Can he stay on the field all 3 downs if a deep tackle and 3-4 system is basically there to stop the run? I think that's a legitimate question. He was the guy when Staley was hired and they announced the 3-4 system that I was the most curious about because of how good a year he had last year. And because deep tackles are typically asked to do different things in the 3-4, but there are ways you can get around it where you can, line up at certain spots, even though it's a quote unquote 3-4. I do know this: they'd be foolish to lock up what he does well, and hopefully they can just figure out a system where he's still able to do what he does best, and that's get after the passer from the interior, because he was easily the best interior pass rusher they had last season.
Here's Sean Fazende, Fox 8 in New Orleans, a walkthrough day for the Saints, back-to-back full padded practices to follow. You heading out to California?
I am, August 6th. As a matter of fact, I just booked my flight about a half hour ago, so I'll be out there.
I'll see you at Dodger Stadium.
All right, cool. Let me know.
Thanks, Sean. We appreciate it, man.
All right, bud. Appreciate it.
All right. No, I will not be going to L.A. I have traveled enough over the last 6 weeks that I probably just need to park it in Baton Rouge for several months. The last 6 weeks have been pretty whirlwind, from Boston to Maine to the beach in Florida to Atlanta for SEC Media Days, to Mexico, to Houston. New Orleans mixed in for the Poirier fight. No, I need to hang here for a little bit and do some work, especially with LSU hitting the practice field tomorrow. All right, it is After Further Review. We are brought to you by Our Lady of the Lake. Speaking of LSU hitting the practice field tomorrow, of course, the award-winning championship caliber physicians at Our Lady of the Lake and the trainers are the ones who will be caring for the LSU student-athletes on the football field tomorrow and throughout the season. There are also the amazing physicians that care for the students and for everyday champions like you and me. Our Lady of the Lake and LSU championship health partners. And when it comes to Our Lady of the Lake, part of the Franciscan missionaries of Our Lady Health System, it's so much more than just, of course, it's a huge part of it, so much more than just caring for student athletes. Like, for example, the Our Lady of the Lake Cancer Institute provides expert care close to home, so you never miss a moment of what really counts. That's why at Our Lady of the Lake, they're the region's leading cancer treatment destination. That's why it all counts here at Our Lady of the Lake. It's Our Lady of the Lake, championship health partner of LSU Athletics. Our Lady of the Lake and LSU, together we roar. All right, y'all, glad to have you hanging out with us here. As we mentioned, we finally got the LSU fall camp practice schedule. LSU will be on the practice field Wednesday morning at 9:45 a.m. There is media availability. Brian Kelly will speak afterwards. I'll be there. I'll give you a full camp report when we're back. Also want to mention, I know we've talked about it a bit, but the court to table, Gordon McKernan, the spot that Gordon is one of the partners in the new pickleball concept. We're going to be doing AFR there on Thursday. Thursday is the start of the NFL preseason. The Hall of Fame game is Thursday night. So I'm going to be doing AFR at Court's Table on Thursday. We'll hang out a little bit after for the game. Highly encourage you, if you have not been, make it a point to get by. Because I'm telling you, you're going to walk in there and go, this is going to be the place where I watch football now. Like, you're going to go on your Saturday, even if you don't play pickleball. Like, people who play pickleball know it, but, like, you're going to walk in there and you're going to go, this is where I'll park it at this table, this booth, whatever, and see every TV and watch every game on Saturdays or your football Sunday for Sunday ticket. So it's going to be a great opportunity to get you to come out and just come through the door for the first time and see this new concept. Even if you love pickleball, you get it. Even if you don't, trust me, like, the restaurant bar area of it, like, is incredible. I've already been several times. Went one time with a client, was so impressed. We went back a second time with me, Erica, and Drew. And we took Drew because in the inside area, it's a big, giant open area space where he could kind of get up and walk around, and he does that sometimes. We don't have to worry about it. It's a great place for kids. It's just, trust me, you're going to love it. We'll be there for AFR on Thursday at Court to Table on Burbank. So make sure you come by and hang out with us for the show, or hang out and watch some of the Hall of Fame game after, have some dinner. We're looking forward to being there. Okay, quick break. We'll come back with LSU starting fall camp tomorrow. I want to give you my camp storylines as we push off from the dock. It's AFR.
AFR.
We're brought to you by River City's 1 Hour Air, where they're always on time or you don't pay a dime. I got a text on the show text line just a bit ago from Terry, who said, hey, Matt, who's the go-to for AC service? And my answer is always River City's 1 Hour Air. Look for the big yellow vans and trucks with the giant clock on the side. With River City's 1 Hour Air, they've just got this thing perfected. It's why when you go look at the Google reviews, and I would recommend you go look at the Google reviews, it's why they've got more than double the amount of Google reviews, of 5-star Google reviews, of the next closest competitor, because they've just got this thing down to a science. Like, here's a Google review from James Hauptman, who said, great service. Justin was friendly, wonderful to work with. He turned what's usually a stressful experience into a genuinely pleasant one. Highly recommend. Another 5-star Google review. They're going to give you a good, better, and best option. They're going to make you comfortable and knowledgeable. It's River City's 1 Hour Air. 752-0001.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
When it comes to industrial construction, River Parish Contractors can do it all.
Mechanical, structural, custom fabrication, specialized welding, and turnaround services. Strategically located in between Baton Rouge and New Orleans, we have the local team with the experience and commitment to safety to manage the most complex industrial projects. Period. Here's the deal. Partnering with us means your project is delivered on time, on budget, and most important, safely. River Parish Contractors, let's get building.
It's not just a game, it's a religion. You've got your team colors, team swag, and now your very own website, LouisianaSports.net. Everything LSU, Saints, and Pelicans. Sports on demand. In-depth coverage by sports writing pros with continuously updated news. And with the LouisianaSports.net newsletter, you get pinged directly with top trending stories. Best of all, now and always, no paywall. It's free. LouisianaSports.net, powered by 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. Your home for Louisiana sports.
At Luba Workers' Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief: our clients come first.
At Luba, our business has always been focused on people, not policies.
Through every success and challenge, we've continued to grow because we've stayed true to our values, committed to providing you with genuine dependability.
Because your well-being is more than a priority. It's our purpose.
ED, low T, or simply seeking to optimize your health and performance? Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness offers a range of discreet services to address your specific needs. We empower men to reclaim their health and confidence. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
At Ochsner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Ochsner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one: you. Ochsner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
After further review, powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana.
Well, she ain't in the cars or pickup trucks.
As always, we appreciate our friends over at Sunshine, sunnyquip.com, sunnyquip.com. They're just the best, man. If you want a Deere, it's a zero-turn mower, a gator, tractor, all the farm equipment, you know where to go. Sunshine. And I cannot wait to tell you more throughout this football season as Grace and her team over there dive into more NIL deals. I mean, think about what they've done in the past with the Weeks brothers last year, holding up the big, posing with the big Gators. So much cool stuff that they've done through great NIL deals with LSU athletes. And, of course, Sunshine is a proud partner of LSU Athletics. Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana. Tigers hit the practice field on Wednesday for the first practice in fall camp. And I got 4 big storylines that I'm keeping an eye on here as LSU moves into fall camp. Number 1 is the most obvious. It's what we talked about a ton during spring, and you should know it by now. It's the single biggest question on this team, and it's the offensive line. You are replacing 4 starters that combined for 170 career games played. Now, they were all elite-level pass blockers, but you were 104th in the country in rush offense. Can you be better? My contention is I think the interior of your offensive line is better because I think you're going to have people in the right seat on the bus. Braylon Moore is a true center. If I asked you, would you rather Braylon Moore or DJ Chester at center, who would you take? The answer is Braylon Moore. However, DJ Chester has started 13 games. Now he gets to move to guard. Big, physical, offensive lineman, a true guard in his natural position. If you have DJ Chester or how you finished the season last year with Paul Mabenga, who would you rather have? DJ Chester. The other guard spot, it's very likely going to be Josh Thompson. That was Miles Frazier. Veteran guys, very good pass blockers, can play inside or out, very comparable players. The question becomes at tackle. I will also maintain you're not going to be as good as you were with Will Campbell and Emory Jones. That goes without saying. But 2 guys there, and Tyree Adams and Weston Davis, who are highly regarded guys, who, if they struggle in pass protection, you can give them help with any of your tight ends. You have a veteran quarterback who can get rid of the ball quickly. That's assuming that's the offensive line, by the way. because you've still got so many other talented guys like Mabenga, who started 5 games a year ago. Or maybe Josh Thompson kicks out and ends up playing tackle because one of the guys we think are going to be there can't handle that role. Or maybe it changes after the opening week. Remember Brian Kelly's first year? It was Garrett Dellinger playing center against Florida State. A week later, he was gone, never went back to that spot. So it probably will evolve, but that's going to be interesting to watch for me. It's the number one storyline is offensive line. A close number 2 is the secondary. If there's a 1A, 1B, that's where it is. You were atrocious in the secondary a year ago. It was the worst safety play I've ever seen covering LSU. The secondary that's produced guys like LaRon Landry and Jamal Adams and Grant Delpit and Eric Reed, that safety play was atrocious. Your 2 lowest graded players among your starters, offense or defense, were Major Burns and Jordan Gilbert, your star and one of your safeties. Like, that's inexcusable. It has to improve, so they tried to improve it. They went into the transfer portal and got A.J. Halsey and Tamarcus Cooley. You've got Jordan Gilbert back healthy. You've got Deshaun Spears a year older now after starting at the first half of the season, then being benched. You've got better talent personnel. Can they be better? And then obviously at corner, you lose Alexander, who is your most consistent defensive back, but Ashton Stamps is back, who's now going to his 3rd year as a starter. You bring in Mansour Delane from Virginia Tech, who is the best cornerback you have. But then there's 5-star DJ Pickett, and there's Jakeem Jackson, there's P.J. Woodland. Like, how do Jake Olson and Corey Raymond work together to get this secondary to gel as one? Because you're going to have more talent than you had a year ago, but can they all work as one cohesive unit similar to the offensive line? Might have more talent in that secondary, but can they work as one? I'll stay on the defensive side, and I'll tell you defensive tackle. It's probably one we haven't talked enough about, but Bo Davis deserves such an immense amount of credit for how good that defensive tackle room played a year ago. Remember, coming out of camp last year, you were out of spring. Remember, you lose Mason Smith, you lose Mekhi Wingo, you lose Jordan Jefferson. Like, you lost all of your interior players. And you come out, you added Gio Paez in the first transfer portal. You come out of spring, and Brian Kelly says point blank, no ambiguity, defensive tackle is a must. And they add an interior rusher from Grand Valley State. Like, they didn't get the impact player they needed. And the one most experienced guy that they had, Jacobian Guillory, goes down in the 2nd week, and he's lost for the year. And Bo Davis had to move Gio Paez inside and Paris Shand inside, and Ahmad Bro, a true freshman, had to give you real reps. And Dom McKinley, because of the toe injury, wasn't really ready until the halfway point of the season. The fact that they were as consistent, as stable as they were, was a remarkable job that Bo Davis did. Well, now Bo's with the New Orleans Saints. Kyle Williams comes in, and Kyle Williams, we've talked about it, wants a very different style of defensive lineman. He doesn't want the 6'5", 340, 350-pound Sadir Mitchell. Like, he wants Bernard Gooden. He wants 6 foot, 290, go blow up the launch pad like Kyle Williams was. So how does that work? Blending the personnel, changing the style a little bit. That's something we haven't talked enough about. Of course, Kyle Williams, this is his first college coaching job. It's a big ask in a season with a tremendous amount of expectation and a little bit of a challenge because of stylistically the different players that you have, because a lot of guys that Bo Davis recruited that don't fit the style that Kyle Williams wants. That's one worth watching. And the fourth, I'll tell you, one guy I just mentioned, Jacobian Guillory, and the other, Harold Perkins, their health. Those are 2 veteran defensive starters for you. Jacobian Guillory is in his 6th year, was expected to be your best defensive tackle a year ago. He misses all but 2 games. He comes back for a 6th season. How healthy is he? How in shape is he? How ready will he be to play week 1, August 30th at Clemson? And the same goes for Harold Perkins. Harold Perkins might be the greatest addition to this team. If he can regain the form of the All-American form that he flashed as a freshman, when he was freshman All-America, first team All-SEC, very productive as a second-year player on an atrocious defense, but never really found his position. Now he's found his spot. He's going to be at the star position. You were awful there a year ago with Major Burns. if Harold Perkins steps in and you're adding effectively an all-American talent to your defense that you didn't have a year ago, we're not spending enough time talking about that. But I'll remind you this. Last year, Zy Alexander was your best defensive back. That's inarguable at any metric. Your passes defensed, your PFF grades, all of it. But Zy Alexander was running third team in fall camp because he wasn't fully back yet off the ACL. And in the first month of the season, they eased him in with the snap count until October. And then, they went to South Carolina and he had the big interception in the end zone. And then by October, it was like, all right, you're never coming off the field. How quickly are Guillory and Perkins back to 100%, full bore, 100% every defensive snap? That's going to be a giant part of this, because if it takes them throughout camp to kind of get back into shape and then a month into the season to get back into playing shape, then, you're talking about a really big September where you're on the road at Clemson. You got Florida coming to Baton Rouge. Shortly thereafter, it's South Carolina, and then you're at Ole Miss. You don't really have the luxury of figuring it out for the first month of the season. It's not like one of those years where you play 3 non-conference games or you load up September with all your non-conference games before the real grind begins in October. You got to be ready to roll. So having those guys fully healthy will be interesting to see what their workload is on Wednesday at the first practice and as they start to sort of titrate up with the workload. So just a few of the storylines I'm keeping an eye on as LSU opens up fall camp on Wednesday. All right, y'all, it's After Further Review. We're brought to you by Relief Windows and ReliefWindows.com. Windows door siding. Oh, yeah, they do shutters as well. When it is 97 degrees right now. 5:45 in the, I'm looking at the air temperature, not the heat index, the air temperature is 97 degrees. I don't even know what the feels like temp is right now. You want to, obviously that's dangerous. You're going to spend more time inside, not in the dangerous heat. But the other thing worth mentioning is when it's that hot, your AC's working overtime. It's very hard for your home to stay energy efficient. Well, that's where energy efficient replacement windows from Relief Windows can help. You install these windows. They're custom made. They measure twice, install once. Every window custom made for your home. So it reduces those costly air leaks. It keeps the cool air in, the hot air out. It's going to lower your energy bill. In time, it'll pay for itself. Also increases your home's resale value. And I haven't even gotten to the customer service yet, which is the best part. Because when you talk to Brandon Holly, he'll tell you their number one product. Their number one product. It's not windows, door siding, or shutters. Their number one product is customer satisfaction. And it's not just a tagline. It's something he demands from everyone in his organization, because Brandon says it all the time. Your reputation, your name means everything. And in business, you have to be willing to spend your last dollar to make your customer happy. And Brandon and everyone at Relief Windows lives that. It's why they're the best. You'll pay more. They're not going to be the cheapest. If you're just going to get quotes to shop for the cheapest one, it ain't going to be them. But they will undeniably be the best, bar none. It's Relief Windows and ReliefWindows.com. All right, y'all. Good show today, man. Shea Dixon was here in hour 1. Oh, Slimbo, Ronnie Rantz was here. The Rugaroo were playing the Cane Cutters tonight. 2 out of 3 for the Louisiana Championship in the Texas Collegiate League. The winner will play on Saturday in the winner-take-all championship game. So that game out at Pete Goldsby Field, to the Gold Mine, as they call it now. John Blau covers Clemson, was here in hour 2. Jon Stinchcomb was here in hour 2 as well. Sean Fazende just a bit ago. Remember, if you miss anything, AFR On Demand presented by Breck Golf. Book your tee time at golf.breck.org, golf.breck.org. Well, I got our final break of the show. Come back, find out what we learned. You get in an email, tweet, or text if you want to do it. Fire away. We'll wrap up next on AFR.
AFR.
Get Gordon and get it done. Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys. If you've been injured in an accident, it's not your fault. Do what injured people in our state have done for 3 decades. Get Gordon and get it done. And, of course, Gordon's so invested in our community. We talk about all that he's done with the G team, with the laptop giveaway at graduation, with the bicycle giveaway around Christmas time. Gordon loves to give back. And a cool investment that Gordon and his partners made is at Court to Table in Baton Rouge on Burbank. If you haven't seen it yet, awesome restaurant and pickleball concept. When you walk up to it, there's a big breezeway down the middle. On the right is the pickleball courts. On the left is the restaurant and the bar. We'll be doing AFR from court to table on Thursday. So if you haven't been yet, this is an awesome time to come discover and experience court to table this Thursday, AFR from 3 to 6, and then we'll hang out after for the Hall of Fame game there as the NFL preseason kicks off. We'll look forward to you. Remember, get Gordon and get it done.
These ice cubes could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they cradle and cool the crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Nicely done, ice cubes.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
Today, we are shaping tomorrow.
We are researching how extreme stress impacts the immune system, from trauma victims to athletes and even astronauts.
Our work is leading the way in sepsis treatment, saving countless lives.
We're unlocking the mind with music in exciting new ways.
Our Lady of the Lake Health and LSU are improving the health of our state.
That's the impact of champions.
Imagine the impact we'll have on the future. Together, we roar.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you. At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Men, age is just a number. Don't let it dictate how you feel. Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness has anti-aging services that can help you look and feel your best. Visit yourgoodwood.com and discover a renewed sense of vitality.
At Luba Workers Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief. Our clients come first.
At Luba, our business has always been focused on people, not policies.
Through every success and challenge, we've continued to grow because we've stayed true to our values, committed to providing you with genuine dependability.
Because your well-being is more than a priority. It's our purpose.
After further review, powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana.
Down the stretch we come. Ooh, just keep that chair. Down the stretch we come. Final segment here on a Tuesday edition of AFR, powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana. When does Otter return? My days and weeks are a little mixed up here.
Yeah, I'm not totally sure. I asked Jordan earlier to see if he knew. He doesn't, so I guess we just have to go straight to the source and bother Otter and Delmar.
When I was in the airport, going to...
Yeah, you've been in an airport a lot.
I know. I think this was in the Houston air, because we had to fly from New Orleans to Houston to Cancun. I heard the Jimmy Buffett song, "The Weather Is Here, Wish You Were Beautiful." You know the song?
I do know the song.
I think that's Otter.
Yeah.
That's Jimmy.
It's Jimmy.
That's Jimmy at Delmar.
Oh, man. Also, that's wild that you were in the Houston airport and then had to drive right back to Houston.
Yes.
That's insane.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, such is life.
Travel's
but
what
yeah.
it is.
Yeah.
You know, we could have flown, the only direct flights were on Southwest. And I'm not trying to throw shade, but I hate flying Southwest. I hate the cattle call. I hate not knowing my seat.
Yep.
I hate all of it.
And now the bags aren't even free.
Yes.
Like,
so we flew first class on United. We had plenty of space. The drinks were free. The bags were free. Even Erica's 75-pound bag that was over. Like, I took I had one medium-sized suitcase. She had her large suitcase. Then had to go buy another very large suitcase that was full and overweight.
Holy rock.
Anyway, I am at a point in my life. It's so interesting, too. I don't know when this change happened in me, where I will pay for convenience. I don't buy a lot of things. I buy whiskey and I buy shoes, like sneakers, like that. Those are my things. Everybody knows about me, but I don't really spend a lot of money on things. Like, I don't have boats. I don't hunt or fish. I don't have like a hunting camp or fishing license or rods and reels, or I don't buy season tickets for anything. I mean, like, all the things that what do people spend money on here? Like, I don't have hobbies. I don't restore cars. Like, what are the things people I don't get out and do yard work. So my father-in-law's got every tool you can imagine. I don't have any of that stuff. But I will pay for convenience. Like, I will pay to fly first class. I will pay to stay in a nice hotel. When I unfortunately do have to fly Southwest, I pay for the upgraded seat thing so I get on the plane first and sit where I want. And then I get pissed at the people they let on the plane who didn't do that. You know, it's always like, if you have a small child, if you have trouble seeing out of your left eye, you can board now. I'm like, did they? Can I get on first and then these people get on? And then it's like 7 family members with them. Before you know it, I'm in row 17. Whatever.
What were we talking about?
I don't know. Otter, Del Mar, or something.
Oh, yeah.
Somebody,
Jimmy Buffett.
I was in the Houston airport. I think the next time I travel is going to be Nashville for the Vanderbilt game. I think that's the next time I travel. At least that I know of. But who knows? Muse, did you learn anything today?
Ocho Cinco don't pay nobody.
How about that? I got to remind Jesse to put that thing together. Paulie, what did you learn?
I learned you saw Sean Fazende in Boston.
I did see Sean Fazende in Boston.
AFR.
That was so weird. Brought to you by Rouse's, the official supermarket of the New Orleans Saints. When Sean Fazende is there at Saints practice, you're checking out the Saints. They got the practice jersey patch. It's a Rouse's patch. Why wouldn't it be? 65 years in business. Rouse has been helping your mom and them make groceries. Love being able to tell you about Rouse's. They've been great to us. They've been great. When I say us, I mean us here on the show, but also us, our communities. Expanding Lake Charles to Orange Beach, points in between. At 65 years, they're still locally owned. Still expansion and growth driven, but sourcing everything they can locally. You walk into Rouse's, you just experience the difference. The selection, the friendliness, the cleanliness. It's just thoughtful and awesome, and I love going into Rouse's to do all my shopping. Rouse's.com, or download the Rouse's app. Football season's almost here, y'all. Rouse's, this feels like home.
ED, low T, or simply seeking to optimize your health and performance? Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness offers a range of discreet services to address your specific needs. We empower men to reclaim their health and confidence. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
Businesses like yours are the soul of our community. You deserve someone who'll deliver the internet services you deserve. That's why local businesses rely on Rev Business, 90 years of building connections. Visit us at letsrev.biz.
River Parish Contractors has immediate openings for structural steel shop fabricators. Call or text Big Jake today at 318-547-1000 or go to rpcontractors.com and click on employment. River Parish Contractors. Let's get building.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Looks like the lucky just got luckier. Dos Equis.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.